stage of our life.
Listen, before everyone thought they were a podcast, you're right.
We have a real deep love of radio. But again, we all grew up with radio. Everybody grew up with radio. Everybody listening grew up with radio.
You know why radio is so intimate? You ever think about this? You ever hear someone tell you that you watch a movie, you're in a theater with 100 other people. You watch a movie or a TV show, you with your kids or your wife or husband or boyfriend or girlfriend. When you're listening to the radio or a podcast, it's usually you and that show, you and that person.
Yeah. It's headphones in.
It's a very intimate connection.
It's usually me in my feetsy pajamas listening to Casey Kasem's Countdown. That's kind of intimate for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, you would let your imagination run wild and imagine who these voices were, right? It was a different time. But based on that, what are your early radio memories? Like how and what you used it for back in the day? Because it's different than what you use it and how you use it now.
Yeah, the studies show that more people listen to podcasts and radios than ever before, but just in a different way.
In a different way. There's things we used to do then that we don't do now.
I'll give you a wild one, which is simply, like you just said, you gave a shout out to Casey Kasem. On the weekend mornings when I'd sleep over grandma or grandpa's house or be coming back from a friend's house, maybe on the way to church or whatever you're doing, you'd be hearing Casey Kasem, like, and number 15 is from Duran Duran. You'd be listening.
That was part of the soundtrack of our lives.
Of course. And you'd be sitting in your car. You're like, Mom, can we wait? He's up to number 3. I want to know what number 1 is.
You remember when Casey Kasem was on Saved by the Bell once?
Of course. How do I remember? That was the best episode.
Why didn't you tie those together?
Is that when Lisa did the sprain?
No, but that's a great episode.
I thought it was. By the way,
it was. It was.
I think it was. All right, so we'll take your phone calls. We'll celebrate radio.
Hello, you're on the air.
Hey, it's Covino and Rich.
If you work in logistics, you know nothing moves without you. And right now, companies everywhere need skilled people to keep supply chains running strong. Find your next job through Express Employment Professionals. Whether you want contract work or full-time role, Express Employment Professionals find you a job where your skills fit, and there's no fee for their help.
Express connects you with the roles that keep business moving. Visit expresspros.com today. Stop searching alone. Get support, get options, and get to work.
Turn your game day instincts into tradable outcomes with Webull's prediction markets. Trade yes or no event contracts across baseball, football, plus economic releases, culture, crypto, and other real-world events. React as markets move in real time, play-by-play. For a limited time, get $20 cash when you make your first prediction market trade with Webull. Visit Webull.com or download the Webull app today. Terms and conditions apply. Event contract trading is highly speculative and may not be suitable for all investors. Sports event contracts are limited in Nevada, Maryland, and Michigan. Webull Futures LLC is a CFTC-registered FCM and NFA member. Event contract accounts are not SIPC protected. See Webull.com/disclosures for more information.
Millions of Americans are glued to their TV weekly, watching a sport they love. Come and relive your childhood at A&J Sports Cards. They have a wide variety of sports cards and memorabilia. Eugene's home for collecting is A&J Sports Cards. Whether you're looking for the stars from the past or the present, you'll find them at A&J Sports Cards. They are here to meet your hobby needs. That's A&J Sports Cards, 1478 West 6th Avenue, 541-343-5561.
Almost every car made over the last 10 years has a camera. Did you know that when you replace a windshield, the camera needs recalibrated? If your glass provider doesn't fix the camera, you could have issues with safety features like forward collision alert, adaptive cruise control, or emergency braking. Don't trust some guy in a truck to fix or replace your windshield and then have to make a second appointment to calibrate your camera. You need Olson's Auto Glass, 2041 West 7th Avenue in Eugene. Olson's Auto Glass, repairing windshields since 1938.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Every year, millions of pets go missing, leaving families heartbroken. If you lose or find a pet, Love Lost is here to help. Our free, easy-to-use database uses photo matching technology across multiple social media platforms to bring lost pets home. Just upload a photo and quickly search the largest national lost and found pet database. Let's unite to reunite, because every lost pet deserves to find their way home. Register today at lovelost.org.
A college security officer called to tell me there was a drinking party on campus. The officer said there had been excessive drinking and our son was in the hospital for alcohol poisoning. He said my husband and I should come as soon as we could. I knew my son would face distractions and temptations when he went away to school. He already had unfortunate experiences with alcohol, and he was a little too good at fitting in with the crowd. I had no idea things could get so much worse so fast. A nurse suggested we attend Al-Anon family groups. Even though our son claimed his drinking was no big deal, he said he was not an alcoholic and that he could quit whenever he wanted. I didn't want to go to an Al-Anon meeting, but I'm sure glad I went. If someone's drinking troubling you, you might be surprised at what you can learn in an Al-Anon family group from people just like you. Call 1-888-4-AL-ANON or go to alanon.org.
This is a Sports Animal Sports Fight.
I'm Justin Grossweiner. Lakers minority owner Dr. Patrick Soon-Shung is not selling his stake in the team. The 74-year-old physician bought into the team in 2010, purchasing a 4% stake from iconic Lakers star Magic Johnson. The 6 Buss siblings still own a collective 17.8% of the team after selling their majority share to Mark Walter in a deal that was ratified by the NBA Board of Governors in October. The U.S. Open singles champions will earn $5.5 million, the highest winnings in Grand Slam tennis history. Overall compensation for the final major of the year is rising to a record $108 million, a 20% increase from last year and a 44% jump since 2024. Indianapolis Colts star tight end Tyler Warren sustained a groin injury in Wednesday's joint practice with the Atlanta Falcons and did not return. Sports Bites every hour or whenever news breaks. Follow us at sportsanimalEUG.com. I'm Justin Grossweiner.
KORE Springfield, Eugene. I'm Danny Havel. You can listen to me on The Drive weekdays from 3 to 6 on the Sports Animal Eugene.
10, 9, 7,
Dude, I am
6,
totally stuck.
5,
It's
4,
time.
3,
My God!
2,
Okay, it's happening.
1.
Are you ready? Are you ready?
I just got 3 things to say. God bless our troops. God bless America. And gentlemen, start.
You're listening to Oregon's premier afternoon sports show. This is The Drive.
Welcome, friends, into our little radio program. We are taking over the state of Oregon, one city at a time. Welcome into The Drive on the Sports Animal Audio Network. Oh, we're so happy you're with us. For the next 3 hours, we're going to entertain and inform. Put your water down. Don't worry about whatever else is going on in your life. You can hang out with us for the next 3 hours. Just sit around the table. We're going to chop it up and talk a little sports, a little entertainment, whatever you want to. The Oregon Man Clinic's hotline open for you in Eugene, 541-844-3484. Toll free outside the Eugene market at 877-844-3484. Live from the Bigfoot Beverages Studios and broadcasting in Klamath Falls. Hello there, Tule Lake. AM 960 Sports KLAD in Roseburg. Hello, Douglas County. Myrtle Creek, Douglas, and Bar Run. Hello, my friends at Bar Run. I need to get a little Bar Run love. You know what Bar Run? I'm going to bring Baby J here in a second. Bar Run, golf, RV park, beautiful, lazy river, 1490 AM, 92.3 FM. The Score, also in Newport, KNCU, our good friends out there. Woody, Viper, as we call him, 92.7 FM, and in Medford. Talked to Joe Brett earlier today. The Ace Sports radio stations, 107.9 FM, 1300 AM. I'm back in my home where I started my radio career adjacently to KYGC at KHUG 1300 AM. It's now the Ace Sports Radio.
1079 1300 AM. I'm Danny. You can call me Doc. That's what my friends call me. And right over here is my tag team partner, Justin Grossweiner, Baby J. I have a big announcement, Justin, but I want to bring you in. What up, boy?
Well, I also have a big announcement because
What?
you failed to mention what day it is. So let's get out of the way. Happy birthday, Danny. It's a special day for you today. So we appreciate you. And I'm not going to say the number, but I know that, you don't love birthday celebrations, but I'm going to just get this out of the way so that we don't have to worry about it. So happy birthday, Danny.
One more than Roger Maris.
There you go.
That's all I'll say. So people, if you're a sports person, you understand what that means. It's one more than Roger Maris.
A good way to put it. I like that.
Yeah. Is that good? All right. We got a lot to talk about. Angie Machado, our dear friend, we call her Ace from Beaver Blitz, will be at the bottom of the hour today. Ryan Kartje from the LA Times. We're going to talk USC football, top of hour number 2. We're going to hear some audio from Brian Michalowski and Jerry Mixon in hour number 2 as well. Rashawn Wadwood. Do I have that right?
I think it's Wadood.
Okay, Wadwood. I don't know how to say why I put another W in there. Wadwood. Brandon Finney Jr., Devon Benjamin. We'll talk about them. Akron. So we talked about this whole Akron season ticket thing, which I thought Joe Moorhead did a great job on. They were trying to sell season tickets. You buy season tickets, you get entered into a drawing to be able to call the first few plays of the first game that they have.
Yeah, real game.
Right? A real game. Mm-hmm. You get to call the plays. And what did I say? If it ended up being somebody that was quote unquote famous, that it was going to be an issue. And here we go. They're not happy because the finalists are some people that have a national presence. So we'll talk about that in hour number 3. So a lot to discuss. Thanks for tuning in here on the Oregon Man Clinics hotline at 541-844-3484. Toll free 877-844-3484. We're also on YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. Also get to our socials, Sports Animal EUG. Also on the website, sportsanimal.eug.com. We keep it simple for you. And again, thanks to all the affiliates. We got more coming on. I'm amazed. I just literally showed you a text from somebody for a new market that wants to grab onto the program. I mean, live and local radio is what it's about, man. So I love that people are gravitating back towards this. I have Sirius XM in my car. I listen to play-by-play. I get to listen to Pat Hughes and Ron Coomer calling Cubs games. I love that. It's awesome. But they don't give me local weather. They don't talk about Bushnell. They don't talk about OIT or Southern Oregon or Corbin or Warner Pack, or they don't talk enough Oregon and Oregon State for me, right? Baby J, are you right?
We're here, live and in color, over your airwaves, of course, that you can see.
Are you in color? So I got to ask you something really quick. Do you own how many flannel plaids do you own? No,
Did I rotate through?
I'm not embarrassing you. I'm just it's a fashion statement and you look good in them. So, but how many plaids do you own versus regular, just a single color shirt? Yeah.
Oh gosh, it's not even that many. I just rotate through them while I'm here. Okay, it's probably like 10%. It's really not that many. It's really not a high percentage, but I have been moving, and so I only have certain clothes in my place. I don't go over to my other place every day because I'm just taking it slow. So that is the next.
So when do you need to be out of the other place? End of the month?
31st, yeah.
Okay, so you have what? So
11 days.
11 days. Okay.
So I'm handling it pretty well, I think, but I do need to get some of my not flannel clothing over. Actually, you're not the first person to comment in this station.
I'm not?
No, Brian
right here
commented on it as well.
Of course, Brian's going to notice that. Of course, Beebs is going to notice that.
He asked me, how many flannel shirts do you have? And I just started laughing.
So no, you still haven't answered the question, though.
I said about 10%.
No, that's not a number, though. 10% of
how many
what?
flannels do I own?
Yes.
You said how many percentage of the clothing I own? It's about 10%.
Okay.
I don't know.
How many is that? So if you
I
have,
own like
if
7.
Okay, so that means you have 7. You have 70 shirts
maybe
total.
Maybe it's
See,
more.
That's what I'm
Okay,
asking.
That's fair. I mean, yeah,
right?
it's
Yeah,
it's
you
about
said-
6 or 7.
Okay.
So maybe more than it's more than 10%. Okay, so maybe like 25%.
So
I own a lot of shirts.
Yes. So we are going to talk about the NFL rostered players that can come back to the NCAA.
I guess we
because of this
shouldn't be
court ruling.
surprised, but it's still every single time this stuff happens, it's always just a bit of a shock.
But this can affect Oregon State. I don't know if it can. Would
Maybe.
Anthony Hankerson come back? We'll talk about it because he's one of those players that could come back. And if you're an Oregon State fan, and if you're Jamarcus Shepard, would you go, ooh, tank, bring the other tank back?
Well, we know that he definitely is very, very good. But we'll talk about this in a little bit. I have thoughts for sure.
Yeah, okay, I'm sure you do. So has Tom Dundon dampened your excitement for the Trailblazers this season? Talk about that this hour as well. Ryan Kartje is going to join us. We're going to talk USC football. I love this because USC, is this a season for Lincoln Riley that is, do you feel like he's on the hot seat? Because it kind of feels like it is. Because he came in with all this, I'm coming from Oklahoma, I'm the hot coach, I'm bringing Caleb Williams. That fizzled out. He has not, they haven't even made the postseason. They haven't even made, no, they have made a bowl game. They have not made the college football playoff. And if you're in LA and you've got all that money behind you, a private school, by the way, so we can't see how much they're spending on the program. Are you going to have more pressure on you because the expectation level has been raised? Yeah?
I would say so. I mean, it's certainly a program that didn't even win very much when Caleb Williams was there, to be honest with you. They got to, what bowl game was it against Tulane that they lost? I know it was one of the New Year's Six, but I don't think it was the Rose Bowl, though. But they didn't really win much.
Citrus
even with,
Bowl or something like that?
It was one of the New Year's Six.
See,
They got to a decent bowl game with them.
So you're just amplifying my point about the bowl season as well. That
It doesn't matter.
Remember,
No, it doesn't matter.
Unless you're in the playoff, it doesn't matter.
Well, especially now, 12 teams. But no, USC, I definitely think, has had higher expectations with Lincoln Riley than he's met. And every year they kind of do this is the year where they're going to take a step forward. And I don't really know if it's been quite enough yet. So this is going to be a season-defining game for both teams, I think, for Oregon and for USC. So we'll see what happens.
All right, so we're just getting started. When we come back, rostered players in the NFL that have joined those teams but are still eligible to come back in the NCAA transfer portal.
Apparently
because of a ruling by a judge. How can that affect and shake up? Are people going to recruit against Dan Lanning now, just grabbing people off of NFL rosters? We'll talk about it next here on The Drive.
1050 AM and 1029 FM and the sportsanimalEugene.com. Broadcasting from the Bigfoot Beverages Studios. You're listening to the...
At Mercedes-Benz of Eugene, we do things a little bit differently. We're one of the last independently owned automotive dealerships with a young and energetic sales staff, no pressure sales tactics, and you don't have to travel outside of Linn County to get the best deal possible. We have more than 200 new and pre-owned vehicles in stock now, and we invite you to come see for yourself at Mercedes-Benz of Eugene.
Three Rivers Casino Resort. Winning starts here.
Iconic summer moments deserve an iconic drink. Reach for Mountain Dew, an American original. From its beginnings in the foothills of Tennessee to your biggest summer yet. The refreshing citrus kick of Mountain Dew is the perfect companion to your American summer adventures. Enjoy the refreshing citrus kick of Mountain Dew. Tasting great since 48. Look for Mountain Dew in stores near you at mountaindew.com. That's mountaindew.com.
You've got 60 minutes to dominate your lunch break. No timeouts. Just one shot to eat like a legend. Introducing the $11 Killer Box Lunch only at Killer Burger in Eugene. That's a pint burger, small fries, and a fountain drink all for just $11. Killer Burger, brought to you by another Eugene legend, LaMichael James. The $11 Killer Box Lunch, only at Killer Burger on Coburg Road in Eugene.
Where do people in Eugene, Springfield go for their boating needs? Maxim Marine. Maxim Marine sells the industry's top boat brands, Thunderjet, Bolton, and Fishrite. New or used, you can find the right boat and accessories for you. If you're in the market for a new motor, Maxim Marine carries the finest outboards, including Suzuki, Yamaha, Mercury, and Tohatsu. Need repairs? Maxim Marine is your factory-authorized service center located right here in Eugene on Highway 99. Maxim Marine, for all your boating needs.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting. A teenager. Learning the lingo.
Today, I'm going to help parents translate teen slang. Now, when a teen says something is on fleek, it's exactly like saying, that's rad. It simply means that something is awesome or cool. Another one is totes. It's exactly like saying, totally, just shorter. As in, I totes love going to the mall with Becca. Another word you might hear is jelly. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will think you're, rad, just the same. To learn more, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
1050 AM, 1029 FM, and the SportsAnimalEugene.com. Other stations can say they cover the Ducks and Beavers, but we bring the receipts. You're listening to The Drive on the Sports Animal Eugene.
Really did.
Yep.
Almost sounds like a funeral.
I didn't get one of the upbeat ones.
You get me, happy birthday from Stevie Wonder or something like that. No,
you know, I would have done.
That's very sweet.
You know,
no, it's very sweet. Very sweet.
Marilyn
Justin.
Monroe.
Happy birthday, Mr. President. Happy birthday, Mr. President. No, I'm not doing that. I'm doing the whole thing. Like I sing to myself. That's weird. Coming up on the program, Ryan Kartje. To you, Denny. I got my buddy Mike. Mike Gallagher is here in studio with us. He came down to visit me today.
What's up, Mike?
That was my cheap introduction. I wasn't trying to be identified. I just wanted to sing to you like Marilyn
of course.
Monroe.
I mean, you're gonna have a voice on the show. You gotta be identified. It's like this weird abject voice.
Well,
we're on in Klamath Falls. We're on in Roseburg, Newport.
Hey, and Joe's
Medford.
station, loving it down there.
Yeah. Talked to Joe today. Did an interview with him that's going to air on Monday on the Ace on their show. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that or not, but
late now.
It's already out of my mouth.
So how old are you again? 6 years. Yeah.
I'm 60. All right. So
here's
the thing. Can we just get this out of the way right now?
Sure.
So we just put it aside. I'm 62 years old.
Oh,
yes. Wow. Okay. I hope I don't sound
You're
like
younger
I'm
than my
62.
mom. So,
well, okay. That means
that
you
should
could
make
be,
you feel better.
That means you could be my son still, though.
I could be.
And we're about 10 years apart.
Meaning you're older or younger than me?
I'll be 72 in November.
Well, there you go.
And you look good. I tell you, darling, you look marvelous.
You look great. Yes, you look fantastic with your Sansa suit and the belt. All right, so Angie Machado coming up. We have to make sure we get on time with Angie. She's very precise and particular from Beaver Blitz.
We owe her
bottom
the
of the hour.
respect.
So Anthony Hankerson is one of these players. By the way, thanks for tuning in here on the Sports Animal Audio Network. We're live in Roseburg. Hello there, Myrtle Creek. We're live in Newport. Seal Rock. I love you guys down there. And in Medford, Phoenix, Talent, Ashland, my first home when I came to Oregon. Thank you, my friends. And Tule Lake, the Basin in Klamath Falls. You're on the Sports Animal Audio Network, live from Eugene on the Sports Animal EUG That's where all of the socials are. So if you want to listen to the program on the podcast, go back to Sports Animal EUG, wherever you're at. So you like, subscribe, you'll get the podcast. We're on YouTube, we're on Twitch, and we're on Twitter live right now. Thanks for the folks that are on there. You can come in and chat there. And if we like what you say, so here's the bar. If we like what you say, you're going to see it flashed across the screen on the YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. So we're a video as well. So you get to see, wave to the kids. We always wave to the kids. We always wave to the kids at least one time. There's baby Jay.
Except for Goose.
I'm done. So Goose, by the way, big announcement for the folks in Medford and also in Roseburg. Goose is going to be back tomorrow.
Tomorrow? Wow.
He's flying in tonight.
Wow.
Goose will be in studio tomorrow.
Are we going to be in studio tomorrow?
Yes.
Okay, that's good to know.
I didn't tell you that, but we are going to be in studio tomorrow. So Goose is going to be here. So everybody in the Medford area, especially, is going to get
absolutely
the 6 degrees of separation of Steve Mims, which is he knows everybody. So Goose will be here tomorrow with us on the program. Ryan Kartje, you're going to join us from the LA Times a little bit later. Brian Michalowski and Jerry Mixon audio. Rashad Wadood. He'll talk about Brandon Finney Jr. and Devon Benjamin. We'll talk about Portland Timbers a little bit. Nice win. First win officially for Cifuentes, the new manager of the Timbers, and the kerfuffle with the Akron season ticket finalists. I have some thoughts on this. I do too. It smells to me.
Absolutely.
We'll talk about it. All right. So NFL rostered players are joining the NCAA transfer portal. They're allowed to do this. The name that jumped out to me, and I'm surprised you didn't see this, because just for full clarity, Baby J is normally way more up on the stuff that goes on day to day, hour by hour in the sports world than I am. So I was shocked that you didn't know Anthony Hankerson can come back to college football. The former Oregon State running back, the Tank, who was one of the best offensive players that Oregon State had last year. So would Anthony Hankerson, well, first of all, we're going to ask this to Andy Machado.
Absolutely.
Would he come back?
I don't know.
Could he come back? Would he come back?
So here's the thing. He would probably be the starter. That being said, I feel like you're pretty good if you're Oregon State in the running back room.
You're literally...
It's about to start the season.
You're literally 8 days away from the opening of the football season for a lot of schools, not Oregon State. But you're that close.
It's close. And he would be able to pick it up right away, I'm sure. But it's also...
Yeah, but no, it's a whole new system, though. It's
I get it.
Offense.
This guy's a pro. Literally.
Well, somewhat, because he's not going to make a team. He's not.
You don't think so?
No, he's not. That's why his name is being floated out there.
Well, one of the reasons why I didn't see it right away is because Oregon State was just buried underneath like Ole Miss and all these other schools, like South Carolina has some guys that they just stuck. You just like a little footnote in there of Anthony Hankerson.
So you're making excuses for yourself?
I am making a little bit of excuses. My reading comprehension was not good.
So I think it would be fascinating.
It would be
if he has the. But you know,
here's
the other
what I'm
thing,
thinking, though, would he go somewhere else?
That's exactly where I was going. So why would he come back to Oregon State?
Right.
Just go to somewhere else.
He doesn't necessarily have a tie. I mean, it's not that they wouldn't embrace him necessarily, but I don't know. Like what's interesting with these players is they're literally guys that are either pro players or like they're just borderline. I mean, which means they're going to be pretty good college football players, I would assume. It's a pretty good place to go to the transfer portal is the pro ranks, right?
I mean, so what's the advantage though to coming back for somebody like Anthony Hankerson, which I think is interesting, and I think that's where we need to stay. Is what's the value of coming back because you want to increase your opportunity to get more looks or more eyeballs on you with NFL teams? Because if that's what you want to do, you want to be a pro player. So somebody like Anthony Hankerson could go just someplace. I'm just throw out a name because it came up in my head. North Texas, Tulsa. You know they're decimated with programs that took Iowa State. He could go to Iowa State in the Monster Energy Big 12 and probably make an impact because they have a brand new coaching staff and they had a coach that took everybody that was worth something, literally, out of their locker room and followed them, in Matt Campbell's case, to Penn State and in North Texas State to Oklahoma State, right?
Yeah, I don't know if he'd have to go down to North Texas even. I think that running back's the type of position where schematically, if you basically have him in certain packages, he's just going to have to know the protections pretty much. And then you just can be a running back and know where the holes are. And if he's in a scheme, he'd have to go to a scheme that he knows already. He wouldn't be able to just learn a whole new scheme in 7 days or whatever. And
God,
I
I
have
hope
to make a decision before then as well, which isn't something you want to rush either.
I hope somebody asks Jamarcus Shepard this question late today. We don't have the audio from today. We'll have it tomorrow. But we're going to have Angie Machado on, and you can follow her. We call her Ace, Angie Machado 1 on the socials, on the program here in a moment. We are definitely going to ask her that question, because if she was up at practice, I guarantee she would have asked that question. What do you think? Would you go after somebody like that? And this is the thing as well, and I saw this probably tongue-in-cheek with a couple of folks, is like, well, people are now going to fight against Dan Lanning by recruiting NFL players back to their schools to try and fight up. Do you believe that? Because I don't.
I don't think it'll make enough of an impact.
At this point in the season?
No.
8 days away?
No, you have your team pretty much what they are. I think that, again, like a running back, or maybe like a pass rusher where it's like, okay,
here
just go
and
get the
there,
quarterback,
you can plug them in here and there.
No, you can't totally remake a team based on these types of players. I think the thing with Hankerson is, you said it yourself, like he probably wasn't going to make. He is on the Seahawks roster right now, but is he an NFL player?
No,
I'm not sure. So for
Not
someone
with
like
that
him,
room. No.
he has an opportunity. I don't know. Do you think he could get a decent NIL deal in college still?
Not at this point.
Why
Again,
not?
Because that money's already committed. They've already got their roster. They've already got
every single school.
Do you think every school's got another $250,000 sitting
I think
around?
that some schools might, though.
Well, I mean, then
not
you're
every school is run
okay.
efficiently and in the best way that you might think. I would
So
say.
then you're probably talking about an SEC school that might have $250,000 sitting around, because that might be what it would take for someone like him.
So this is gonna sound even crazier, but could we see at some point where, I don't know, like 3-4 weeks in, you have a couple of injuries, and then you see what I'm saying?
So
like,
we're gonna do
like mid-season.
We're gonna do a Phillip Rivers saving the Indianapolis Colts midway through the season
I
because
don't know.
you don't have a quarterback.
I mean, I don't think you do with a quarterback.
If you're sitting on the sideline, it could be.
That's all I'm saying. I can see this mid-season.
I actually can see that. All right.
I think that's the next step.
We are live in Klamath Falls, in Roseburg, in Newport, and of course in Medford, and in the Emerald Valley in Eugene. This is The Drive on the Sports Animal Audio Network. When we come back, Angie Machado is going to answer all for us. Oh, there's a lot of pressure on Angie right now. She has no idea. Asa has no idea what's coming up here next on Sports Animals. Stay tuned.
Don't change the channel. Your radio might explode. Okay, not real. But you miss a minute of The Drive, you might miss something, well, spectacular.
On we go.
The Drive is back on 102.
At Mercedes-Benz of Eugene, we do things a little bit differently. We're one of the last independently owned automotive dealerships with a young and energetic sales staff, no pressure sales tactics, and you don't have to travel outside of Lane County to get the best deal possible. We have more than 200 new and pre-owned vehicles in stock now, and we invite you to come see for yourself at Mercedes-Benz of Eugene.
Online at our Springfield, Bend, and Albany locations.
We live and work right here in Eugene, so we understand what matters most: family, community, and the confidence of having a plan that fits your life. Your Eugene area Edward Jones advisors get to know you, your goals, your family, and what feeling secure means to you. Together, we'll help you make sense of your financial picture so you can move forward with clarity and confidence. Your Eugene area Edward Jones advisors. Let's start the conversation. To locate the Edward Jones financial advisor nearest you, visit edwardjones.com. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
At Sun Automotive, we are changing the image of the automotive industry. Our country depends upon cars and trucks, and our automotive technicians are the essential workers that keep families safe and businesses moving. At Sun Automotive, being an automotive technician isn't a plan B. It's a future and an important career that challenges you to grow and gives you the satisfaction of keeping people safe and on the road. For the best service under the sun, come to Sun Automotive.
Babes, what are you doing?
What? I'm just mowing the lawn.
No, it's blazing hot and dry out here. Don't you remember? Smokey Bear says.
Avoid using power equipment when it's windy or dry.
Where'd you learn this?
Oh, it's on
SmokeyBear.com with many other wildfire prevention tips.
Right. Thanks, honey bear.
Because remember, only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Hello?
Man, where are you? It's wedding. I thought you were coming.
Oh, I can't. I'm in bed with the flu.
The flu? You didn't get a flu shot?
I wish I did. I can't believe I'm missing out on Greg's wedding.
Whoa. Grandma's about to crown, sir.
Grandma's about to what? What?
Man, I'll call you back.
Oh, man.
Sounds like another case of flu FOMO. Don't get stuck at home with the flu. A flu shot is safe, effective, and you can get it at the same time as your COVID-19 vaccine. A flu shot is the best way to prevent the flu and its potentially serious complications. It keeps you protected and also protects your loved ones. Protecting our community can't wait. So why get stuck inside with the flu? Don't get flu FOMO. Learn more at getmyflushot.org.
Brought to you by the AMA, CDC, and the Ad Council.
Sometimes they're right.
Rest my case.
Sometimes they're wrong.
You want answers. The truth. You can't handle the truth.
But no ears were harmed in the making of their disagreements.
I don't know what we're yelling about.
You're listening to The Drive on the Sports Animal Eugene.
Like that?
I do. I like the vibe.
Yeah, it's an old LeBron commercial. Nike.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. It's where I know it from, at least. It's from something earlier, though.
Okay. Let's head on over to the Oregon Man Clicks hotline, 541-844-3484, toll free 877-844-3484. Let's make sure we got Angie Machado on. We call her Ace. You can follow her at Angie Machado 1. She is the owner of Beaver's Blitz. Justin's still talking on the phone. Are you going to... So just don't make me keep vamping here. We're going to have Ryan Kartje coming up. Next hour, Tom Dundon, has he dampened your excitement for the Trailblazers this season? And your phone calls are going to be welcome after we're done with this segment for the next hour until we get to Ryan Kartje. Last hour, we're going to talk about the fiasco that we see happening with Akron season tickets because they had a contest. Well, yeah, I guess it was. So if you bought a season ticket to Akron football, you got entered into a drawing where you could call the first 10 or 15 plays for a regular season game. You would be the offensive coordinator. This is only going to happen in the MAC. Listen. And now they've released the list of the finalists, and my suspicions were confirmed in terms of who's one of the finalists. So are we good over there?
We're good. Yeah, we're very good. We have a special guest in the 5 o'clock hour.
Oh, okay. So you're doing that. So do we have Angie on?
We do.
Okay.
Angie's right here.
All right. Ace, how are you?
I'm good. I just, LeBron Nike commercials. I mean, I go way back because I think the best Nike commercials were back in the Michael Jordan and Spike Lee or even the Bo Jackson. When I used to watch those, I wanted to go into advertising at Nike. I thought they were that good.
Wow, that's awesome. All right, so Anthony Hackerson, does he come back to the Beavs?
I don't know. I mean, that's.
Did you see this though?
I did see this. I mean,
okay.
he is. There's a court motion that he could come back, but he could also enter the portal. I believe is where he is. I just don't know if Oregon State has space for him. That running back room is really, really full right now. They have a lot of talent, and I don't know if it makes sense for him to come back.
No, I would agree. I mean, you have a really nice running back room there. What kind of things right now? I mean, would make sense for this team in terms of if they did add it like a running back? Like, does it even make sense to add somebody like an Anthony Hankerson? Like, I'm not even sure.
No, she already
No,
said
I mean,
not
offensive line really.
right.
They really. My two concerns for depth were really safety and offensive line. Maybe throw a D lineman in there, but then with Van Wells coming back and Jaheim Patterson, that takes care of an offensive line and a safety. Now they're going to have to work their way back and get in the rotation, but running back is not on my list of even potentially needing another body.
Absolutely. And right now, I think we're at the point in the off season / early practice season where there are certain things I think we do know, and then there's a lot we don't know. So there's a lot, especially with this Beavers team that we're trying to figure out. So what do you feel like right now that you do know, that you have some sort of substantial feeling about? And what kind of things do you think we literally need to see the first game? I mean, obviously the quarterback's one of them, but the first games to really get that sense of what this team is going to be and look like.
Yeah, I think the biggest question that I have, besides the quarterbacks, obviously, is just on how good this team can be is really up front in the trenches, both the offensive and defensive line. I have my questions there, depth on both of them. And just, what we saw last year, Oregon State has struggled defensively to cut any kind of pass rush for years. It's not just a one-year, one-off thing. This has been multiple years in the making. Offensive line last year was such a sore spot for Oregon State that those two areas, I think that's kind of where you can look at and be like, okay, if they can shore up or scheme or, keep guys healthy and those two areas are serviceable, then the team can do better than people think. The areas that I think are pretty strong right now, if I'm looking at strengths, I'm looking at that inside linebacker group. I think they're, even with the kind of the question marks with Aiden Sullivan right now, that group is still it's at least two deep on both sides. So that one's good. And then I look at the tight end room, wide receivers. I think the receiving game is going to be so different this year. In the past we've seen, Oregon State kind of go with the smaller, shifty wide receivers, maybe not get the tight ends involved in the passing game as much as maybe in the past. And I think that changes this year. So those, linebackers, tight ends, wide receivers are kind of my strengths right now. And then O-line, D-line are my question marks.
We are live in Klamath Falls, Roseburg, Newport, Medford, and up and down the Willamette Valley on the originating station Fox Sports in Newport, and in the Valley on the Sports Animal 102.9, 1050 a.m. It is The Drive here for a Thursday. Angie Machado joining us. You can follow her on the socials, Angie Machado 1, as she is the owner of Beaver's Blitz, and she joins us on a weekly basis throughout. We will travel through the football season together, Angie. So I think one of the questions that I would have, because of what happened last year with all the outside distractions, and now there's a couple of players coming in from the eligibility list. So what would you say is the tenor or the thrust of this coaching staff to reduce any of the outside noise on this team? Because I think that's going to be important.
Yeah, and especially when you look at the schedule, this is a team that's going to be starting on the road at Houston and then have Texas Tech at Research. So 2 top 25 teams right out the gate. Closing out the media, it's interesting. So, I think that's part of it. I think that's what they're doing. Part of it is to keep a lot of the talk down, a lot of the chatter that we may have. I love watching practices and being able to, give my insight on who, who's really standing out, maybe who needs to take a step forward. But that's also noise. So keeping the media we're getting to see a lot of, drill work and no real live action. So keeping that at bay. And, Coach Shepard has done a really good job. If you guys have heard all the sound bites, he's a motivator. So I think that is also helping so much. He's really got these guys rallying. And with bringing the new guys in, bringing Van Wells back, bringing Jaheim Patterson back, Coach Shepard was adamant in that, you don't, at this time, this late in the season, these guys have been grinding since January for the most part. They've been working in the weight room, spring camp, summer workouts, and then have 2 guys that, are coming back into the mix. He said those guys have to earn their spot. And, if nothing else, it's great depth, great experience to have those guys back. But, if they are in good shape and if they, earn that spot, it just adds so much more to the roster to help, relieve some of these guys.
Someone that isn't necessarily a new guy, but we haven't seen a lot recently, and he just came across my radar today. Noble Thomas Jr. was named to the Comeback Player of the Year watch list. What are you hoping for and expecting from him this season? And mostly hoping for, I guess we would say.
Yeah, I mean, hoping for, I guess, is just to stay healthy. He's battled a couple pretty brutal injuries. So for him to stay healthy and stay on the field is going to be huge. He was really one of those guys that it was about a year and a half, 2 years ago. He was really kind of coming along. I think it's been a 2-year setback for him. So just to get him back in the fold, he's a great leader by all accounts. We hear from the coaches, we hear from other players, just what a good leader he is for the secondary. So to get him back in the field will be huge for Oregon State. And like I said, you always want to see guys stay healthy, but a guy that has come back from some pretty serious injuries and surgeries, it's kind of even more on the forefront that they stay healthy.
The owner of Beaver's Blitz. It's Angie Machado. Follow her on the socials, Angie Machado 1 here on The Drive. Thanks for tuning in on the Sports Animal Audio Network. Angie, as we wrap some things up with you, we've talked a lot about the quarterback room, and there was discussion and insight, and we're trying to read between the lines, trying to parse what Jamarcus Shepard has said about the quarterback room. What is your take on how he's evaluating this? Because, he's an offensive guy, wide receiver coach at Alabama, followed Kalen DeBoer there to the Deep South. And how do they evaluate that, and how do you think that's going to come out?
Yeah, so this staff is really taking the whole analytic approach. This isn't just kind of going by gut or who has the most touchdowns. It's looking at how they go through their reads, who throws the most completions, who's throwing drops, who's making the wrong reads.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot going into this, that they are using AI and everything, super high tech.
Really?
It's really interesting to me. Like, I'd love to just sit down and be a fly on the wall in those meetings, because what I'm hearing glimmers from different people that with some knowledge. If you would have asked me 2 weeks ago, I would have said Braden Atkinson was kind of leading the charge.
Okay.
But then after this last scrimmage, I've heard some rumblings that Malik Murphy and Brady Jones were kind of leading the way. So another scrimmage on Saturday, I don't know if that's going to be the one that they actually kind of pull the trigger on picking QB1 for week 1. But I think there's a lot of people, especially in the media, that think Malik Murphy, it's his job. He does have the strongest arm of the room, but don't count out those other two. I'm telling you, Beaver fans. I've heard a lot of really good things about Braden Atkinson, and then Brady Jones. I had one person tell me he reminded them a lot of former Beaver and NFL player Matt Moore. So there's some moxie there. He's quick. He's a taller QB. So, him and Malik are the tallest guys in the room. But like I said, right now, I think it's anyone's guess. They all have a different skill set. One of them might be more consistent. One of them has a bigger arm. One of them has some mobility. So it's going to be interesting to see. But yeah, if you had asked me 2 weeks ago, I'm like, it's going to be this guy. And now I'm back to kind of like, well, maybe I'm second guessing here.
So it seems like, and let's stay on the offensive side, is younger coaches, do you think they're leaning into analytics more, the metrics, instead of the gut?
Oh, absolutely. And I asked Coach Shepard that last week when we had media availability. I asked him, even like on special teams, like when are you deciding to go for it on third down or punt? I said, do you ever is this always going to be an analytics thing? Or do you ever just go like, trust your gut? And he goes, I've learned not to trust my gut.
Yeah, I think we had that quote.
Yeah,
we did. We knew that was your question. So yeah, we had that quote.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's, I think AI and computers now can go through so much data that it wasn't possible for us even 2, 3, 4 years ago to go through that much data and give us. I think it's going to change a lot of even scouting. No longer are you watching film, necessarily. You're throwing that film in an AI system and letting the AI tell you the tendencies of that team and, what they are going to do, what they're going to call on a third down and 6. What do they do traditionally? So it's changing the game completely from what we've known from the past, like I said, 3 to 5 to 10 to 20 years.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm fine with it as long as it's used as a tool and not as a Bible.
Yeah, we've heard that before.
Exactly. No, I mean, no, it is.
It's
I
something.
think in everything, right? It needs to be your, you still need to make the calls and the plays, but I just think the ability to digest a lot of information or put in your film from practice and be able to, if it's able to pick out, that, Malik Murphy has a tendency to throw incompletes when he's throwing from the right hash across the field. on an intermediate pass, those kind of things can come in really handy.
Yeah, and it's something maybe you don't just notice with your
Exactly, that you're not picking out with, you're like, oh God, Malik Murphy just had 4 incompletions. Well, then if you are able to have that film analyzed, you're like, oh wait, 3 of the 4
they didn't run a route. They didn't run a route right. Yeah, right. Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Okay, so you mentioned special teams earlier. Of course, we know.
Oh my God!
What
a disaster!
Have we heard anything?
Get worse.
Do we know anything?
You and I
about
could have
special
done better, Angie. So
I think we could, honest to goodness.
Have you heard anything about special teams and how they're doing?
Yeah, I mean, we've seen them a little bit. They're usually running off the field when we're coming on to go do a practice. Yeah. I do know they're, the punting with special, it's the long snapper. But there are 2 on the roster this year, so that is a good thing.
Okay.
I know that is going to be an emphasis. Coach Shepard is very, if there's one thing I'm learning about Coach Shepard is he wants all the details meticulous. So the details, to the point where at one practice I was standing there and he yelled at an offensive lineman and made them redo it because he wanted a certain crisp. And a wide receiver drill. A wide receiver took his first step with his left foot, not his right foot, and he blew his whistle, made him redo it because it wasn't, exactly what he wants. So the attention to detail is there this year. So I think special teams, special teams on a good day is going to win you a game. Most of the time, you just want it to be
you don't want it to lose you a game.
Yeah, you don't want it to lose your games.
Right.
So your special teams is one of those things is like you just want to kind of be there, do your job, and not make a mistake, and so. I think Oregon State should be okay this year.
Yeah, I don't know how many times I've seen the
Can it get worse though? I mean,
no.
I say that, but I remember last year in the press box saying, "Well, it can't get much worse," and then something bad would happen.
Then it would, yeah.
I mean, it's the whole thing that goes out. You have one job to do. That was it on special
You know what
teams.
it is?
You have
like
one job.
It's like that meme. It's like man who doesn't realize that he had small bit of hope left, loses last bit of hope that he didn't know he had. It was that type of stuff.
Absolutely.
It felt like, again, I'm going to date myself, but remember the old Snickers commercial? Not going anywhere for a while. That's what it just.
That's what it feels
long
like.
Snapper snapping him over the punter's head. Yeah.
Yeah. So one last question is I'm getting a sense, and you've covered this team, this program, this school for decades. Does it feel like there's now a reinstilled sense of hope in this team?
Yeah, absolutely. And I would say not even in the team, I would say in the whole program, in the whole department. I think Kevin Griffin is giving hope and kind of a new sense of excitement as being the athletic director. I think Justin Joyner in basketball, I got to watch a practice there and just seeing what's going on with men's basketball, hearing, being around football. I think Beaver Nation there is, like I said, for the first time in several years, there's hope that, things are maybe looking up for this entire program.
We love following you. We're expecting a big announcement as we get to the beginning of September, by the way. I'm going to tease it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Some exciting stuff coming on the horizon. So
can you please break it on our show? Please. Can I?
We can work on that.
Okay. I would love.
It would have to be a different day than a Thursday.
No, that's fine. I'll do it. I'll do it at whatever day you want. Believe me, I'll clear the decks for you. I'm pleading with you just because we're all over the state. We're all over the state now. We're in Medford. We're in Roseburg. We're in Klamath Falls. We're in Newport. We're going to be in Bend and Coos Bay and probably up there.
You're like my first job out of college was a pharmaceutical sales rep for Eli Lilly. And my territory was like the entire state except for Portland. I covered all those areas.
And we're going to have everybody for you, kiddo.
Awesome.
All right.
Awesome.
All right.
I'm in.
All right. We love having you on the program. Thanks. We appreciate you.
Thanks, you guys.
All right.
Bye.
There she goes. Angie Machado at Angie Machado 1 on the socials. I mean,
we did it again.
Does it get any better than this? Listen, I want her to break I know what the news is. You know what the news is. We are not going to break the news. I want her to break the news, but I want her to do it with us. Please. All right. When we come back, has Tom Dundon dampened your excitement for the Trailblazers this season? This is really a question.
I think it is.
Okay. We're going to talk about it next as we come back here on the Sports Animal and the Drive.
Nothing is too big for the sports animal to handle. That's what she said. You're home for me, Dan Patrick, 6 to 9 a.m. weekdays, and the Drive.
At Mercedes-Benz of Eugene, we do things a little bit differently. We're one of the last independently owned automotive dealerships with a young and energetic sales staff, no pressure sales tactics, and you don't have to travel outside of Linn County to get the best deal possible. We have more than 200 new and pre-owned vehicles in stock now, and we invite you to come see for yourself at Mercedes-Benz of Eugene.
Yesterday at Dalton Carpet, right here on West 11th in Eugene.
Fresh flowers, bouquets, plants, and custom arrangements for all occasions at Eugene's Flower Home. You'll discover that and so much more. Stop by Eugene's Flower Home to find just what you're looking for. You can shop in-store or online with local and nationwide delivery. Whether it's birthdays, anniversaries, or other special occasions, it's available at Eugene's Flower Home, 1193 Harlow Road, Springfield, across from the south entrance to the shops at Gateway, 541-485-3655, eugenesflowerhome.com.
Almost every car made over the last 10 years has a camera. Did you know that when you replace a windshield, the camera needs recalibrated? If your glass provider doesn't fix the camera, you could have issues with safety features like forward collision alert, adaptive cruise control, or emergency braking. Don't trust some guy in a truck to fix or replace your windshield and then have to make a second appointment to calibrate your camera. You need Olson's Auto Glass, 2041 West 7th Avenue in Eugene. Olson's Auto Glass, repairing windshields since 1938.
If your credit card bills have gotten out of hand, call Consolidated Credit now. If the interest rates on your credit cards are so high, it'll take years to get out of debt. Call Consolidated Credit now. They've helped over 10 million people without destroying your credit. They can reduce your interest rates, lower your total payments up to 50% to get you out of debt fast. For a free consultation, call Consolidated Credit now. The program works.
Call 800-499-4107. 800-499-4107. 800-499-4107.
Consolidated Credit Solutions Incorporated, 5701 West Sunrise Boulevard, Fort Lauderdale, Florida 33313. Licensed by the New York Department of Financial Services and by the Vermont Department of Financial Regulation. Kansas CSO 0019051. Maryland DM 1492. Oregon DM 892. Licensed by the Virginia State Corporation Commission, license number TC83. Service may adversely affect the individual's credit. Non-payment of debts may lead to additional finance charges or collections activity, including legal action. Actual interest rates, length of program, and monthly payment reductions will vary by consumer and creditor. Yours could be higher or lower. Not a loan company. We do not lend money.
Down by one with only 10 seconds to go. Anders gets the ball, shakes the defender, has an open shot, and he's checking his phone. What in the world is he doing?
You definitely wouldn't risk losing a game like this. But by texting and driving, you could risk even more, your life. So, don't drop the ball, drop the call.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
1050 AM and 1029 FM and the sportsanimaleugene.com. Broadcasting from the Bigfoot Beverages Studios. You're listening to The Drive on the Sports Animal Eugene.
Ryan Kartje from the LA Times going to talk USC top of the 4 o'clock hour here on The Drive. Rashad Wadood is going to discuss Brandon Finney Jr. and Devon Benjamin. Brian Michalowski and Jerry Mixon as well. Audio from fall practice from the Ducks. All coming up in hour number 2. And then in hour number 3, it's going to be wide open phones for you because we're not going to have a guest. So just lock in the Oregon Man Clinics hotline at 541-844-3484 in the local area. That means Eugene. And then I shouldn't say local. So in the Eugene area, 541-844-3484. Toll free wherever else you're at in Klamath Falls. Hello there, my friends. Roseburg, Newport, and in the Rogue Valley. 877-844-3484. So we will pay for the call. You just go ahead and give us a call. And we're also on the Twitter and the Twitch, right? And the YouTube. I always so I'm old, so I say the in front of it because yeah.
You're right. It is just called Twitch.
Yeah, it's not the Twitch or not
Twitter.
the YouTube.
Yeah.
It's all
Like
those things.
not the Google.
But you can see us. So you can see us live. So thanks for tuning in, friends. It's been a fun first hour already. Angie Machado, great information. We're talking Oregon State with her and Ryan Kartje. We're going to talk USC. Top of the next hour. We're also on the podcast. See, I said the podcast. We're on Apple, iHeart, Amazon, Spotify. We're on all of the platforms, wherever you get your podcasts, or as Justin likes to tell me, your music, because people don't necessarily get podcasts there. We're there as well. We put a audio only version of the show up on all the podcast platforms, and it's free. So just go ahead and find your favorite one, Sports Animal EUG, or come to our website, sportsanimalEUG.com. It's all the same thing. Just put a .com behind it and you'll find us. There we go. All right. So as we wind up this hour, just a couple of minutes, has Tom Dundon dampened your excitement for the Trailblazers this season? By the way, let's do this now. Right. Has Tom Dundon dampened your season, your excitement for this season? To me, do not care about him. I am all in on the team. No, I am. I can separate my fandom for the team versus who owns the team. And I think the best way I can describe this is Donald Sterling, when he owned the Clippers, he was a wreck off the floor.
Very publicly.
But the team was great. And people could separate their fandom. So do you have an example? And by the way, answer the question first. I didn't give you an opportunity to answer.
Has it dampened my excitement? A little bit. I found myself not thinking about the team as much as I start thinking about the ownership. You don't want them to succeed
because you think that
no, it's
it'll
not
be
that I don't want them to succeed. No. I don't think
I'm
not going to credit him with that and not want him to win or something like that. For me, it's as much as anything. It's like, I find myself thinking about, are they going to stay in Portland? What's the future of this team more than it is, hey, John Morant's on this team. Mike Inori's the head coach. Like, they bringing back a team that went to the playoffs for the first time in a while. Like, I find myself not thinking about those things, and I start thinking about Tom Dundon and whatever's going on there. So, I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
Well, we used to be a Blazer affiliate. We're not now.
We used to be.
But we're still going to root for the team. We've talked about this.
Yeah.
I am too. I'm going to pull for the players, the support staff, the coaching staff, all the people around it. Unfortunately, it bubbles up. It bubbles up to the top, just like 7-Up, just like our friends at Bigfoot Beverages Studios. It's not 7-Up, though. Diet Pepsi. Love my Pepsi. Love my Mountain Dew. Love my root beer. And when we come back, top of the hour, Ryan Kartje, LA Times, USC on the Drive.
$10:50 a.m., 102.9 FM, and the SportsAnimalEugene.com. Other stations can say they cover the Ducks and Beavers, but we bring the receipts. You're listening to The Drive on the Sports Animal Eugene.
It kind of sneaks up on you. You're more tired than you should be, a little less focused, a little less motivated. Maybe you've gained a little weight. It's normal. A lot of men experience it, but that doesn't mean you have to live with it. At Hale Men's Clinic, personalized testosterone therapy can help you restore your energy, your clarity, your edge. Real solutions, real results. Hale Men's Clinic. Feel good now. Curious about your levels? Walk into Hale Men's Clinic in Eugene, Bend, or Roseburg for your free testosterone test today. More info at halemensclinic.com.
Millions of Americans are glued to their TV weekly, watching a sport they love. Come and relive your childhood at A&J Sports Cards. They have a wide variety of sports cards and memorabilia. Eugene's home for collecting is A&J Sports Cards. Whether you're looking for the stars from the past or the present, you'll find them at A&J Sports Cards. They are here to meet your hobby needs. That's A&J Sports Cards, 1478 West 6th Avenue, 541-343-5561.
In school sports, it's easy to see the wins, the moments that make headlines. But there's so much work that goes unseen for any of it to happen. My name is Phil Risen, and I'm the Executive Director of the National Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association. Throughout the country, athletic administrators dedicate countless hours to making life-changing opportunities possible for student athletes through sports. Their sacrifice is fueled by the belief that every student can grow and deserves their time to shine. On behalf of the NIAAA, we want to thank every athletic administrator for your tireless dedication to providing 7.8 million students across the country a path to a better future.
This message presented by the NIAAA, the National Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Hey Max, you look absolutely dashing in that purple tie. Ready to harness the world?
You bet, Daisy. I'm ready as I'll ever be. And might I say, your purple tie really pops with your vest.
Thanks. I almost went with a cape, but didn't want to come across as pretentious.
Nonsense. Anyone in our line of work should rock a cape.
You might be onto something, Max.
Phew. So here we go. First day on the job. We got this, right?
Right. Don't forget, we both graduated from Dogs Inc. with honors.
Which means I can guide my human around a busy city with ease.
And I can give my human a restful night.
I hope my human is kind and loving.
And I hope mine likes wet kisses and zoomies.
Ready to make a difference?
Born ready. Let's go.
Discover how extraordinary dogs like Daisy and Max change lives at no cost to the recipients. Visit dogsinc.org.
KORE Springfield, Eugene, 1050 AM. Translated on 275CX 1029 FM. This is the Sports Animal Eugene.
The Sports Animal Audio Network. We're live in K Falls, Roseburg, Newport, Medford, in the Valley, Eugene, Springfield, and up and down I-5. Thanks for tuning in, friends, for a Thursday. It's Weekend Eve. Here, the 20th of August, the year of our Lord, 2026. We appreciate you hanging out. We just had Angie Machado a few moments ago. You can go back to the podcast and listen to our Beavers Blitz owner and reporter. And as we head on over to the Oregon Man Clinics hotline at 877-844-3484, live from the Bigfoot Beverages Studios, we are going to welcome in a first-time guest on the program. He is the USC beat writer for the LA Times. Joined the Times after 6 years with the Southern California News Group, where he covered everything. And I want to hear about this, Ryan. Ryan Kartje is joining us. Vin Scully's retirement to LeVar Ball's rise to the NFL's rebirth in LA. So, Ryan, welcome to the program. Yeah, welcome to the program, buddy. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
All right, so can you give me one Vin Scully story? We are baseball guys here, okay? Both Justin and I are Cubs fans. We have a Dodger fan in the building, and we have somebody who could care less about baseball, but I would love to hear a Vin Scully story because I love Vin Scully.
So the story that I wrote, the angle I had taken was actually that, I wanted to tell Vin Scully's legacy basically through 5 different super fans and what he meant to them. And one of them that always kind of stuck with me, and I think kind of just like showed me the power of Vin Scully, was this brother and sister who the brother had grown up basically idolizing Vin Scully. And the sister, knew about him a little bit, but eventually years later, ran into Vin Scully on a cruise ship and basically got this picture autographed for the brother. Well, the brother ends up going through this whole situation with his wife having ALS. And the one thing that keeps him basically going on is Vin Scully. And he gets this autographed picture from this one day and this personal note that Vin wrote him, not knowing this guy at all. And he credited basically Vin for saving his life. He never met him before, ever. He just listened to him every night, kind of soothed any concerns that he had, and then he got this picture, and it basically convinced him to go on. So that's the power of Vin Scully, I would say, after researching that story.
So, you know what I loved about people like that and others that were in the broadcast industry, and you've probably been able to cover several of them, is that people like Vince Scully, it was never about him. It was always about the game, the players, and the people. And he was the voice. He was the conduit, but it was never going to ever be about him. Right?
And I think to that point, another of my favorite things about Vince Scully is that in his best moments, the most dramatic moments of his career calling games, it's actually all about the silence that he uses. Not about the words. He's an amazing wordsmith, but his most affecting moments was when he knew not to talk, which I think is kind of an incredible thing for a commentator who talks a lot every day.
Yeah, absolutely. Ryan Kartje is joining us. You can follow him on the Twitters and all that stuff, the social media. Ryan Kartje, it's Kartje. He covers USC for the LA Times of Troy as well. We're going to get into some other things. I think I have burrito written down here. I've got other things that we're going to talk about. So, Ryan, let's talk about USC. Is Lincoln Riley, does it feel like his seat's getting warm? Is this the year he's got to get this team into the postseason, into the college football playoff?
I think everyone is pretty much in agreement on the fact that this is the year.
Yeah.
Now, the question is, what does that mean? And I think some people might tell you that this needs to be a playoff run no matter what for USC, or else Lincoln Riley's not going to retain his job. I think there's probably a little bit more nuance to it than that. But even the athletic director, when I sat down with her, about a month ago, had told me that, we're not hiding from this. I mean, we literally put up billboards across town that said the time is now. So it doesn't get more literal than that. And Lincoln Riley's not running away from that either. And I think, they both sort of reached a point where realizing, well, there's not anything more we can give Lincoln Riley. He has a new state-of-the-art facility. He has a Hall of Fame defensive coordinator. He has a great GM who just got the #1 recruiting class in the country. You literally cannot give him any more than that. So at this point, it's kind of up to him. I think we'll probably know pretty quick, where this team is headed. Now, whether that means that it still ends up as a playoff team, I don't know. But I think there's a world in which USC could have a good team that finishes 8-4. That's how difficult the schedule is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you just hit it right on the head of what I was to ask you. If this is a make and break season for this USC team, which one of these games is the make or break game? Because they got #2 Oregon, #1 Ohio State, and #6 Indiana on the road. That's tough. So which one of these do you see as the sort of make or break one?
I think the most important one to the remainder of the season for USC, and probably emotionally to USC fans, would be the Oregon game.
Yeah.
If only because it comes first.
Right.
And I think, at home, where they have not played Oregon for a while. I think the statement that would make, if they were able to win that game, suddenly this is a team we're talking about as like a Big Ten contender or a definite playoff team. I think people would look at them at that point. So just the confidence that would bring for what is a very young team, very talented, but very young, somewhat unproven. I think that would be, more valuable than even say a win over Ohio State, although that would be equally pretty great as far as they're concerned, but or a road win at Indiana. That's going to be tough. I think This is a team that's kind of struggled on the road, struggled to go east. It's a lot to ask when you're talking about the defense that Indiana seems like it's going to have. So, but I do think if they were able to choose between any of those three, which one they were going to win in, I think they would choose Oregon.
Oregon, absolutely. Yeah.
Do you think that do you think they need to basically win at least one of those three? And they could take 2 losses on the season if they're two out of those 3, then really good losses potentially. Obviously, we don't know how the season's going to go, but do you think it's a possibility if they can at least win one of those 3 that they could still make the playoff?
I think so, for sure. I think if they were to win one of those 3, that's kind of what everyone would be expecting. Now, we don't want to, overlook teams like Washington or even Wisconsin or Penn State. They have a road trip to Penn State that is almost certainly going to be a night game whiteout. I've been to one of those at Penn State. That is one of the hardest places I've ever seen to play.
And Oregon won there
So-
last year doing that. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't know what to expect from Penn State coming in this year. Maybe they're much better than we're expecting. There's a lot of variables there still, but I do think I also wouldn't rule out that maybe let's say they beat Oregon and then they lose to Penn State. Now you have a 3-loss team that I would say is definitely not getting in the playoffs with that resume. And now, could you lose to all three of those top teams? Let's say they all finish in the top 5.
Then,
in a world in which 3 losses to top 5 teams, you get into the playoffs? Maybe. I think Lincoln Riley will suddenly become a huge fan of 3-loss teams being in the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. And screaming at the SEC for that same thing. It's Ryan Kartje joining us. He's the USC beat writer for the LA Times. He's a Michigan native, University of Michigan graduate, go blue. He previously wrote for Fox Sports Wisconsin and the Bloomington Herald Times, and he joins us here on The Drive statewide in Oregon on the Sports Animal Audio Network. So I got to ask you first. So being a Michigan native and a graduate, and then you go, I mean, one of your first jobs was to go cover Wisconsin. So how was that for you?
So my first job was actually covering Indiana.
Okay, Indiana
when
first.
their fans, when the students would leave midway through the first quarter of games.
So how was that for you?
I never thought that was my first college game I covered as a professional journalist. Was an Indiana football game, and you could have never told me at that point that this team would be where it's at. But so it's pretty cool to see that. But I've been all over Big Ten country. I didn't cover Wisconsin, but I wrote about the Milwaukee Brewers when I was at Fox Sports Wisconsin. But I am Big Ten through and through. So no one was more happy about USC moving to the Big Ten than my mom.
So well, thanks to your mom. And by the way, we're both Cubs fans here, Justin and I. So, thanks for being really good with the Brewers. That you had nothing to do with, but yeah, we always watch. We're scoreboard watching right now through the rest of the season. But the Big Ten, and that actually amplifies a question I want to ask about the expansion of the Big Ten. And now we're going to be in year 3 of this. So obviously the addition of Oregon and Washington, USC, UCLA has strengthened the Big Ten. Are we now, the next step is going to be to the super conferences, SEC and Big Ten breaking away from everybody? Do you see this in the next 5 years after this next contract happens?
I wish I could say no, because I don't think that is a good thing for college football. I think that's kind of the point of no return. But we just really see no reason to think that it's going to go in any other direction. I mean, everything is pointed towards the money always.
Yeah.
The Big Ten and the SEC have always been, willing to seize the power that they've been given and use it. And Congress can't get anything done. So there is no backup plan right now. And Congress, the congressional part of this just fell apart for the umpteenth time. Granted, this was a better attempt, I think, than previous ones, but it is just kind of sad to see that that's kind of where we're going now. Like I'm not going to say that that's like the end of college sports as we know it, but it's a very different thing, and we're already halfway through that different thing.
Right.
I will say.
Yeah.
So maybe it's not as much of an adjustment as we would have thought of years ago, but still, I think there are other conferences that matter, and I think that some of the magic of college football will be lost by moving to that. But I think about the 18-team Big Ten, it's so unwieldy already.
Yeah.
Some of the trips we go on, some of the just like bizarre combinations of games. It's I've gotten used to it, but it is still kind of hard to accept.
I want to go back to this USC team real quick. And you mentioned Gary Patterson, the defensive coordinator for this team. Is this finally the year where USC has a good defense? It always feels like Lincoln Riley. It's just, okay, the offense is great, putting up numbers, but then the defense is what's lagging behind. Is this it? Is this the year?
This is the question that everyone asks about this time if you're a USC fan. And, I hate to hedge here and just say I don't know, but I do think that this is the most talent that they've had on that side of the ball. And I think that's kind of overlooked in the sense that, like, Lincoln Rileyism blames just his sheer presence has made the defense worse. I do think part of it was just they didn't have good defensive players. And they didn't do a great job of bringing them in the first couple of years either. So that was a big issue, and it sort of reared its head. And then you had poor leadership and some of the defensive coordinators that they had. And, Danton Lynn, they made improvements in the previous 2 seasons that he was DC, but it just wasn't the right fit. I don't know that it was ever going to go past what it was. I do think this is more of a ceiling move than it would have been to try to keep Danton Lynn for, the large contract they would have had to pay him. So in Gary Patterson, you have a guy who I was a little worried that just the egos involved, someone who's been a head coach for 2+ decades, hasn't been a coordinator even longer, now clashing with someone like Lincoln Riley, who has always been pretty strong-willed and, likes to be in control of his program. And so far I have not gotten a sniff of that issue at all. Seems like Gary Patterson has been very happy to not be doing the head coach thing. So, and I think that's a big deal. I have been more bullish on that front than I was at the very beginning. And you hear the players kind of talk about him and how much they love him. And, you hate to buy too much into that, but that was kind of the concern at the beginning was, is this guy, too intense? Is he not able to relate anymore? Like he wasn't here with NIL. That hasn't seemed like a problem either. So eventually you just have to look at his skills as a defensive coordinator. And he has always been very good at that, with the exception of a couple of seasons. And he has never had a defense as talented as he has now at USC. So there are a lot of good cases to make that the defense could be better. Now, I still think it's going to have problems stopping the run. I don't think the linebacker group is very deep, but when you look at the defensive line and the secondary, they are much better off than they were a year ago, which those are 2 good spots to fortify.
Absolutely. Covering USC for the LA Times, it's Ryan Kartje. You can follow him on the socials at Ryan Kartje, Kartje. He joins us here on The Drive on the Sports Animal Audio Network. Ryan, we love what you present, and we want to have you back for the rest of the year as we are going to circle that game in September for USC and Oregon. But I do want to ask about the tenor of down there in Southern California, because Southern Cal has made a concerted effort to kind of poke the bear a little bit against Oregon on social media. Yeah. So what is the feeling down there in SoCal on how USC wants to kind of reclaim their dominance on the West Coast as being that power, and how they see Oregon?
Well, I think that's the interesting part about it. And it's kind of like quintessentially great, like modern college football rivalry, and it's about recruiting and, like uniforms, like, part of it's like all that, like things we never would have talked about before. But like on one side, you have USC, who has all these national championships and all this history. And USC is looking at Oregon and saying, you've never won a national championship. Right. And the reality is they will never be able, they will always go back to that when it comes to, their rivalry with Oregon, even though they very clearly don't have a leg to stand on over the course of the last 10 or so, maybe even 15 almost years. So it's kind of perfect in that, like, no one's right. It's like USC's right in that they have more of the prestige from the history, and Oregon has certainly been the better program by far of late. So I think, I'm very bullish on Oregon this year. I think it's just the defense is at a point where I think that's really going to set things apart. And we kind of forget about how good defenses are and how much they affect the game, especially in college football.
Correct.
I feel like. And when you talk about the depth of the secondary, and like just watching them against USC last year, it was Jaden Mayava's worst game by far last season.
Yeah.
So I just think that's kind of the key to disrupting in them this year. And the fact that it's early in the season, they're going to get a USC that is not fully formed yet, which is also another part of it. Now that's it. It may end up being an excuse down the line. I could see that as well. But yeah, the rivalry itself really is setting up for kind of a perfect long-term back and forth, which it'd be great if USC was good, if only to make that rivalry more interesting.
Ryan, that's great insight, and thank you very much. Thanks for being on the program, man. We look forward to having you back. Hope you had fun.
Yeah, absolutely. And anytime, let me know.
All right, awesome. There he goes. LA Times, USC. He's our man now. So we're going to have him on reports every week on our game day show, on our unauthorized tailgate show. Let's get Ryan on USC. We'll just say USC, big voice, and then have Ryan give us 60 seconds on what USC is doing this week. All right, when we come back, Brian Michalowski, Jerry Mixon. We got Rashad Wadood coming up. We've got talking Portland Timbers as well here in this hour. Next hour, Pete Alonso, the Akron season ticket fiasco, all upcoming here on The Drive on the Sports Animal Audio Network.
Don't change the channel. Your radio might explode. Okay, not real. But you miss a minute of The Drive, you might miss something, well, spectacular.
On we go.
The Drive is back on 102.9 FM and 1050 AM. The Sports Animal.
Send off summer with fantastic lease offers and big savings at Kendall Toyota of Eugene. Lease a new 2026 Toyota Tacoma SR5 double cab rear wheel drive at just $280 per month for 36 months with $3,999 cash or trade equity due at signing. Get in on 0% APR on a new all-wheel drive 2026 Toyota BZ XLE. Plus, get $500 TFS subvention cash or lease it at just $385 per month for 36 months with $3,999 cash or trade equity due at signing. Get in on the end of summer savings and stop by Kendall Toyota of Eugene today. Kendall, let's start something great.
VIN number TM074169 and TA013908. TSRP of $42,002 and $41,970. $0 security deposit. See lease posting at Kendall Toyota of Eugene or call 541-225-5420 for complete lease details. All financing out of credit and all customers will qualify. Price does not include title registration or tax. Price includes $250 dealership admin fee. Subject to car sales. See dealer for details. Offer expires 8/31/26.
So what are you reading?
I'm checking out the ratings on the new TVs, and it looks like Samsung, LG, and Sony got the best scores.
Just like last year. What about those new high dynamic range TVs?
They got the highest scores of all, but their prices are really high.
Did you check online?
Yeah, their prices were about the same.
Well, there's one place where we can get a hot deal on those top-rated models.
Where?
At Video Only. Check out the ratings on TV stores.
I see. Video Only scored better than the others.
So if you want the best deal on the best TVs,
then we should take our TV ratings and head over to top-rated Video Only.
At Video Only, you won't find huge stores with refrigerators or microwaves, but you will find the best deals on top-rated TVs, soundbars, and monitors. Shop around. Just make sure you visit Video Only, because if you don't,
you'll be sorry.
In Jansen Beach, Clackamas, Beaverton, Salem, and Eugene. Video Only.
If your credit card bills have gotten out of hand, call Consolidated Credit now. If the interest rates on your credit cards are so high, it'll take years to get out of debt. Call Consolidated Credit now. They've helped over 10 million people without destroying your credit. They can reduce your interest rates, lower your total payments up to 50% to get you out of debt fast. For a free consultation, call Consolidated Credit now. The program works.
Call 800-499-4107. 800-499-4107. 800-499-4107.
Consolidated Credit Solutions Incorporated, 5701 West Sunrise Boulevard, Fort Lauderdale, Florida 33313. Licensed by the New York Department of Financial Services and by the Vermont Department of Financial Regulation. Kansas CSO 0019051. Maryland DM 1492. Oregon DM 892. Licensed by the Virginia State Corporation Commission. License number TC83. Service may adversely affect the individual's credit. Non-payment of debts may lead to additional finance charges or collections activity, including legal action. Actual interest rates, length of program, and monthly payment reductions will vary by consumer and creditor. Yours could be higher or lower. Not a loan company. We do not lend money.
Sometimes they're right.
Rest my case.
Sometimes they're wrong.
You want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
But no ears were harmed in the making of their disagreements.
I don't know what we're yelling about.
You're listening to The Drive on the Sports Animal Eugene.
Our friend Boomer on the chat for YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. Has Siobhan Edwards come on yet? He just said Javon. Maybe you should listen to Ryan Kartje, who was just on from the LA Times and USC. The Duck defense will be the difference. Amen. Amen, friend. So Boomer bringing the heat. So this is day 2 of now Javon Edwards from the Syracuse Times. We're going to ask him to come on the program to defend why he put Oregon 10th in the preseason poll. So, yes, that happened. That just happened. So we want it. So listen, just so anybody, and if you want to follow him, is Javon Edwards 45, right? Is that right?
Yeah.
Justin?
Yeah.
Javon Edwards 45. Go follow him
Edmonds.
on Twitter. Oh, sorry, Edmonds. I said Edwards.
Yeah,
Edmonds.
I think so. Edmonds.
Edmonds.
Still a
Javon-
follower count. Yeah, he has another couple followers. So
Javon with an A. So JAVON Edwards 45 at Twitter. And just let him know that the sports animal in Eugene would love to have him on. We're not going to bang on him, but we want to hear his thought process for putting Oregon 10th, because it was wildly different than anybody else of the, what are there? Are there like 45, 50, 60 writers and radio personalities and stuff that do this thing? Mostly writers, right? They're
Yeah, I
mostly
think so.
writers.
And
But
there's some TV people too.
so, and some radio guys. So we're on Monday, right? Did you lock this in with my buddy Dave?
Yes,
Dave
we
Pre-
did.
So Dave Preston, who is a great friend of our program, our previous program, he's going to be on Monday. He is one of the AP voters. So we would love to hear how he goes through his process. So we're not going to kill anybody about this, because I think it's difficult. Wouldn't you?
Totally agree.
I mean, because if I have to rank everybody from 1 through 20 or 1 through 25, I can't watch all those games.
Yeah,
There's no
it's
way.
impossible, especially if you're covering a team in the first place. So
there's regional bias that comes in.
Well, and George made a great point yesterday of anti-regional bias.
George Reister,
Yep.
our good friend.
Our good friend George Reister, the former NFL tight end and Oregon Duck, where you can almost have a bias against the teams in your region because you don't want to seem like you're biased. It's a counteractive measure.
A
that can-
reverse
exactly.
bias. Okay.
It's a reverse bias. So 69 voters, I believe, by the way. I counted up the first place votes, and that's how many there are. So I'm assuming that there's going to be 69.
Okay. Yeah, because everybody's going to put somebody at 1,
Exactly.
right? So,
Quick
and
math.
Javon did not.
He was the lone Miami, Florida first place voter. Ended up at
So
number
we did some research. He did not graduate from Miami. He was covering like Temple. He was a Philadelphia kid. So,
But it's just interesting, right? And it's like
yeah,
the
it
AP
is.
poll, we talk about, hey, what does it matter? But it kind of matters in terms of perception.
Oh, absolutely
It
it
does
does.
matter.
It does.
So we would like to know the thought process if somebody has somebody significantly lower, why they think that they're not as good as other teams.
So you and I probably could never be voters. So that's actually a great question.
I would
Could
love
you-
to be a
could you-
voter.
So
I would
first
take
of
it very
all-
seriously.
Oh yeah. So here's the thing: you would never get any work done for me.
No, I do it. I would do it when I got
wouldn't.
home.
You no.
Yes, I would.
Really, you would? You just do it at home?
Absolutely.
You wouldn't? I wouldn't sneak around and look at your computer, and you're not like watching film of somebody else from the week.
No, I know what I
Really?
need to do when I'm here and what I need to do when I'm not. I'm good about it. You don't know. You don't know what I'm doing when I'm not here. What I'm doing.
I don't
check
monitor.
when I'm.
I don't
Yeah, you're-
monitor you every single
Exactly.
day. All right. The Sports Animal Audio Network. We are live on the drive. Thanks for tuning in Newport on KNCU 92.7, in Woodford at the 8 Sports Radio, in Roseburg on the Score, and in Klamath Falls on KLAD AM 960 Sports. Coming up, we'll have some audio from Rashad Wadood, who will be talking about Brandon Finney Jr. and Devon Benjamin. But let's head on over for the fall practice schedule. We've got media availabilities for coaches and players. And Brian Michalowski is one of those guys that is looking at that linebacker room. He's the guy. And that's one of the, didn't we agree, Justin, that if there's one question mark that we have for Oregon defense, it would be the middle of that field. And that's where the the push needs to come, because we know the line's solid. We feel pretty good about the defensive backfield. Are we in agreement on that?
I think so. I mean, I don't know how you couldn't feel good about the defensive line and the defensive backfield. You brought in Coy Parrish, who was a preseason All-American first team, excuse me. And then you got Brandon Finney Jr., who was second team All-American. So those are two guys that are going to be studs. Ife Obadegu, I think it's kind of like swept under the rug a little bit because he's just not quite like a guy like Brandon Finney Jr., but he's really, really good as well. So it's the same thing. You have depth. You have the freshman as well. You're going to hear some thoughts about Devon Benjamin here in a little bit. But yes, this is a very exciting front of the line and back of the line. I guess if you had questions, it would be in those linebackers.
So we'll hear from Brian Michalowski in a second, but we're going to start with Jerry Mixon Jr., who is one of the guys that I think he had some games last year. It was like he was the guy. Everybody was looking to Bryce Betcher, but he came through and made some huge plays, especially the Penn State game. I can point to others. So Jerry Mixon Jr. was asked the question, what other position group in that defense is pushing you?
No, on the not just the defense.
On the offense as well.
You know, hint, it's on the offense.
Okay.
We're gonna say the running backs for sure. We've been doing crossover Andy with them almost every day. So we got a brotherhood in the locker room, and we bring that to the field. No hard feelings. We just trying to get each other better. So I feel like the running backs and us, we've been pushing them.
So now I want to know what the running backs think about the linebackers, right? Because he said that the linebackers are pushing them, and he thinks that the running backs are pushing the linebackers. So I think it makes sense, obviously, because they're going to be practicing against each other. But it also speaks to what we've been talking about the running back room.
And the one-on-one thing where it's you're playing against each other, the ones on the ones are going to make yourself better.
Right.
But then you're going to get to a point where it's like, I want to play against somebody else. And that's where you release the thoroughbreds when you get ready for Boise State, which is coming up on September 5th for the Ducks. So Brian Michalowski talks about what they're looking for in improvements from Jerry Mixon Jr. and that core.
The big thing is we have to communicate across the defense at an extremely high level. He was a little bit more to the field last year with how we packaged him and Bryce. So a little bit more removed from the box, so just want him to really be that voice to the entire defense. That's one emphasis that I've made with him. And he's a very talented athlete. He's great in the pass game. He's really improved some of his run fit mechanics and striking with hands. So he's been working hard on those things.
So he's gonna have to be a leader. I think that with Bryce Betcher gone, I think that everybody's looking for somebody in that room to be a leader.
Step up.
You don't need to be the biggest and fastest guy, although we know that Devin Jackson is one of the fastest, not just players and linebackers, but overall in the NCAA. So they've got talent there. I don't think that's the issue. You talk about there's questions about the linebacker room. It's not because of the talent, but it's about, hey, have they developed? Is there a focus? Are they going to be down to down, able to have all the communication so there's nobody left open in the flat on a 3rd down and 4?
But there's not a standout from last year that's carrying over to this year.
But you don't need that. You don't need a standout.
You don't, but that would give people more, I guess, resolve.
Yeah, heading into the season, you're going to be a little bit more comfortable.
Right. Okay, that's the word I was looking for.
It's about development. We heard this last year. I know Goose, we love Goose, but Goose last year was questioning this Oregon but the team coming into last year because there wasn't a lot of returners that had production. And look what happened. They were one of the best teams in the nation. So You're not always going to know. And actually, sometimes I would make the argument that if you do know what's coming back, that almost limits you. Maybe not like a team like Oregon, but at times you can go, okay, I know what this guy's ceiling is.
Yep.
I don't think we know about the ceilings of any of these guys.
I get it. Rashad Wadood is one of the coaches for Oregon, talking about Brandon Finney Jr. and Devon Benjamin. That's coming up next. Timbers 1-0 under their new manager. Dante Moore, what's the reasonable expectations? And a fiasco in Akron, we think, coming up. It's all on the drive, and you're locked in to the Sports Animal Audio Network here from Eugene and in Klamath Falls, Roseburg, Newport, and Medford. Thanks for tuning in on the drive.
Nothing is too big for the sports animal to handle. That's what she said. You're home for me, Dan Patrick, 6 to 9 a.m. weekdays, and The Drive with Danny, Steve, and Justin from 3 to 6. This is the Sports Animal.
So, how's your research going?
Surprising. After I figured out the top-rated TVs in our price range, I went shopping for deals.
And who's the best?
It wasn't the internet, and it wasn't the warehouse club.
But?
It was video only. They had better deals on the Samsung, LG, and the Sony TVs that got the highest scores.
Better than online and at the club?
I know. Video only beat them all. And now we can afford an even better model for the same price. My research really paid off.
If we buy it video only.
Exactly. Otherwise, we'll be sorry.
At Video Only, you won't find huge stores with refrigerators or microwaves, but you will find the best deals on top-rated TVs, soundbars, and monitors. Shop around. Just make sure you visit Video Only, because if you don't,
you'll be sorry.
In Jansen Beach, Clackamas, Beaverton, Salem, and Eugene. Video Only.
Make the most of your summer with an end-of-season road trip and some fantastic savings on a new Chevy or GMC at Kendall Chevrolet GMC of Eugene. Lease a new 2026 Chevy Silverado 1500 LT Crew Cab 4x4 at just $395 per month for 36 months with $2,895 cash or trade equity due at signing, or get 0% APR. Take $10,000 off MSRP on a new 2026 GMC Sierra 3500 Denali Ultimate Crew Cab 4x4. Stop by Kendall Chevrolet GMC of Eugene and save today. Kendall, let's start something great.
VIN number TZ419764 and TF249826. $0 security deposit based on 10,000 miles per year. See lease posting at Kendall Chevrolet GMC or call 877-371-8620 for complete lease details. 0% APR for up to 60 months with $1,667 per $1,000 borrowed. All financing on approved credit. Price does not include title, registration, or tax. Subject to prior sales. See dealer for details. Offer expires 8/31/26.
The plans you have for your property need the right equipment. Kubota has reliable tractors, utility vehicles, and mowers to help you make the most of your land, along with strong dealer support. Stop by today to explore our lineup. Right now, bring home select Kubota equipment for 0% financing or save up to $3,500, plus a first-year K-maintenance service on us. Now through September 30th. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com/disclaimers for full disclaimer.
Mid-Valley Tractor in Eugene. 40 years, family owned. Find them at midvalleytractor.com.
They are our love bugs and companions. They are our pets, our family, and they make life better. When we face unexpected challenges, so do our pets. That's why we're on a mission to support people and their pets. Whether donating a bag of kibble, sharing an Instagram post of a lost cat, or welcoming a foster pet into your home, every bit of kindness counts. Visit petsandpeopletogether.org to learn how to be a helper in your community. Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
1050 AM and 1029 FM and the sportsanimalueugene.com. Broadcasting from the Bigfoot Beverages Studios. You're listening to The Drive on the Sports Animal Eugene.
The Oregon Mac Links hotline open for you locally in Eugene at 541-844-3484. Toll free for our friends in Klamath Falls, Roseburg, Newport, and Medford, the Rogue Valley, 877-844-3484. This is The Drive. Thanks for tuning in to the Sports Animal Audio Network. I'm Danny. Right over there is Baby J. Call him Justin Grossweiner. Well, Mom calls him Justin. We call him Baby J.
You know, I've never gotten a full Justin Alexander Grossweiner. That's not my mom's style.
You haven't? So
No.
that means you've never been in that much trouble. Because
No, I have been. I've been in trouble.
Oh, but so my mom would say, Daniel Jerome Havel, get down here right now. I was named after my dad. My dad was Jerome John Havel. Rest in peace, Pop. But it was Jerome. Whenever I heard Jerome, there was possibly a whooping coming.
Big trouble.
No, it was not great. Not great at all. So coming up in the last hour of the program, open phones for the entire last hour, but we're going to talk about a couple of things. What are the reasonable expectations for Dante Moore? There's this whole thing with the Akron. We talked about the Akron season ticket push that they made, which I thought was a great idea. You'd buy a season ticket.
We all loved it.
And you would get your name into basically a lottery. And the possibility would be that you would be able to call plays in a real game. Now, I don't know how actual that would be. It would be like, here's the script and you call the plays. It's not like you're drawing up plays, right? You're not like designing the plays. It's like, here's the script, you call the plays. That would be cool.
You think it could be like one of those, like, I don't know. It's almost like a ceremonial first pitch where it's like they have the play and you're the one that basically calls it in.
No, it's absolutely that.
It's like they just have the script in front of you and you just say this.
But this has turned bad for Akron, which is, I was fearing this for them, is because who's been drawn as quote unquote the finalists. Now they haven't drawn the actual person or people that are going to do this, but they've got their finalists, and now all of a sudden it's not turning out great for Akron. They're getting some bad publicity off of this. We'll talk about it next hour. And then you really want to talk about the beautiful game? You want to talk about?
Yeah. Did you hear? About Ronaldinho? Do you know who Ronaldinho is?
Adjacently.
Okay, Ronaldinho, if you're not familiar, is one of the most.
You say 147 years old?
No, he's 46. So
he's 147 years old.
In soccer years, yeah, yes. He is. He is one of the most electric soccer players that has ever lived. Didn't have a long reign of dominance for about 2.5 years. You just need to look up some highlights from him.
Okay,
he's
so
one of those players.
How long has he been out of soccer professionally?
10 years, I think.
Okay, 10. And now he's what?
46.
Okay, and now he's what? What is he doing?
Well, probably partying a lot because that's his sort of style.
But he's coming back.
He's coming back and he's playing professionally in the third division of Italy. It's great.
And so we'll talk about that in the last.
Well, I guess
hour.
I'm going to talk about how excited I am for it because you apparently don't even know who he is.
What? I don't know everything.
You know what we're going to do?
Okay,
during one of the breaks, I'm just going to show you some Ronaldinho highlights,
fine.
And you will understand why this guy is so incredible.
Absolutely will watch.
He basically invented a ton of moves. Like, he just is unbelievable to watch.
Bicycle kick.
I don't think he invented that, but there's been several moves that he's invented that other players use. And he certainly has some bicycle kicks that are fun to watch too.
So review in MLB baseball is under fire for this Pete Alonso near home run and the technology that's being used. And a lot of people with their eyesight, and actually after the video was like, was it a home run? Was it not a home run?
It was pretty clearly a home run.
Yeah. And they said, no, it wasn't.
They reviewed it and said it was not, even though the video evidence looked like it was a home run. So that's something to talk about, I think.
Yeah, I think that's a great debate. So we'll have that in the last hour. So open phones for the rest of the show, 541-844-3484 in the Eugene area. Outside the Eugene market, 877. We'll pay for the call. 877-844-3484. That's the Oregon Man Clinks hotline. We're live from the Bigfoot Beverages studios. Let's get to Rashad Wadood and his dissertation or his explanation about Brandon Finney Jr. and Devon Benjamin and what they mean. So Rashad, and you can follow him at Coach Wadu, W-A-D-U. He is the cornerbacks coach for the University of Oregon. And obviously that back end of the field, and he's got a lot of pressure on him, man. Rashad Samples is, Chris Hampton is now the defensive coordinator. That's one of the positions that he was coaching coming up to this. Now he's elevated to the DC, but believe me, he understands what it means to coach that position. So let's hear what Coach Wadu talks about Brandon Finney Jr.
He's driven, very driven, probably the most driven kid I've ever been around. Takes the game serious. He did everything he could, committed himself to not a specific result. Like, his goal wasn't to come in and start or be an All-American, anything like that. He just wanted to get better. So regardless of what the outcome of his season was last year, he was going to put that same work in regardless. That's who he is.
Well, we're not concerned about the back end for Oregon, are we? You're not.
No, I don't see how you can be unless they have a bunch of injuries. I mean, I think Coy Parrish is somebody that, as I mentioned earlier, he's got.
Is he a Dylan Thieneman type of player, though?
I think he might be better.
Really?
Did Dylan Thieneman get voted all preseason first team last year? I
No,
don't think so.
He did not.
Not that people didn't know who he was, but Coy Parrish, it seems like he's one of those guys. I mean, he played some offense for Minnesota as well. Like, I think he might even be better. I know that we've been making that comparison of, okay, well, Dylan Thieneman, other Big Ten school, guy that wants to come to Oregon for his senior, I guess he's a junior, but transfer to Oregon to start. But I honestly think he could be better.
Well, I think, again, if we look at the defense as a whole, and we've already talked about it with Brian Michalowski and Jerry Mixon about the middle of that defense, we have no issues with the line. That back end of the defense, I still feel really solid about. So there's another one that Coach Wadu wants to talk about, and that's Devon Benjamin.
All around DB, plays corner, plays nickel. Very smart kid, works hard, pays attention to detail. He's grown tremendously since he got here in the spring. He takes the game serious. Again, he's not looking for a specific outcome. He's just trying to get better. He came here for development, and that's all he's focused on, as is the rest of these guys. They just focus on getting better, as is Azel Benag, as is Xavier Larice. All these guys is working as hard as possible. Jet Washington, they're all pushing each other.
So those are all the freshmen. And so they're all really exciting freshmen, I have to say.
So does it seem like that there's like a bunch of players that were recruited and are at Oregon that we're not hearing about right now because they're not going to see the field, but they're really, really good? And they seem like they're pushing that first squad, that second squad up.
You want to know who I think one of those guys is?
Sure.
I think Trey McNutt's going to play a decent amount this year.
Yep.
He's a guy that had some injuries issues last year. Big recruit as well. Like, pretty much all these guys are big recruits. And I think you're right. Like, I think some of these guys, even Ife Ogbadegu, who I think is probably going to start, not necessarily get in the headlines. When you've got a Coy Parrish, when you've got a Brandon Finney Jr., those are the headliners, right?
Yep, they are. So Oregon football, Oregon State football, we've covered it from nose to tail. Let's move to the beautiful game for at least a couple of segments. The next segment, we'll talk about the Timbers and their new manager finally here. We've talked about a bunch, and now the first win for the Timbers and their new manager when we come back on the Sports Animal.
1050 AM, 1029 FM, and the SportsAnimalEugene.com. Other stations can say they cover the Ducks and Beavers, but we bring the receipts. You're listening to The Drive on the Sports Animal Eugene.
Summer, the sun, the sand. How could things be any better? Actually, you know what sounds kind of good? Chicken bones. Yeah, that would make things better. All you could eat wings for $27.95 and dollar beers from Cold Fire Cold Store. That would really make things better. Ooh, and the sauces. The sauces are to die for. In fact, now I'm kind of hungry. Oh, man. Now I need to go to Chicken Bones.
Make no bones about it. Chicken Bones has the best wings in Lane County. All you can eat wings, great sauces, and awesome burgers. Open daily at 11 a.m. on Pioneer Parkway in the Safeway Center. Check us out on Facebook or call 541-726-0111. That's 541-726-0111. Chicken Bones, chicken with an attitude.
Are you curious about who offers the best deals on top-rated Samsung, LG, and Sony TVs? The answer is surprising. It's not online, and it's not the warehouse clubs. The best deals on top-rated TVs are at Video Only. Don't believe it? Then check out the trade-in deals at Video Only. How about $500 for your old TV? Try doing that online. Before you buy that new TV, drop into Video Only. If you don't, you'll be sorry.
Don't give wildfire a path to your door. Prepare your home and yard before fire strikes. Clean your roof and gutters of leaves and debris. Limb up trees. Space those plants. Cut your lawn short, and if possible, keep it green. It's called defensible space, and it works. Go to keeporegongreen.org to learn more.
Imagine what it's like to be active your whole life and then find out you're going blind. That's what happened to me. I have age-related macular degeneration, or AMD. As a wife, mother, and grandmother, my sight is precious to me. What a relief when I found out that treatments for some forms of AMD are available and that research is underway on additional preventions and treatments. AMD is the leading cause of vision loss in people 55 and over. When I started seeing blurry spots in the middle of my eye, I saw my doctor. She suggested I review the prevention and treatment information on fightblindness.org. Did you know that some forms of AMD can be slowed down or stopped, and in some cases reversed if found in time? Get more information about preserving your vision. Call the Foundation Fighting Blindness today at 1-800-BLINDNESS for a free packet on reversing or managing AMD, or go to the website where I found so much helpful information. Fightblindness.org, 1-800-BLINDNESS, 1-800-254-6363, or fightblindness.org.
Don't change the channel. Your radio might explode. Okay, not really, but you miss a minute of the drive, you might miss something, well, spectacular.
On we go.
The Drive is back on 102.9 FM and 1050 AM. The Sports Animal.
Hello there, friends. Welcome back. Last segment of hour number 2. Open phones for you at 541-844-3484, 877-844-3484 if you're outside the Eugene area. That's the Oregon Man Clinics hotline. We're live from the Bigfoot Beverages Studios. I'm Danny. Right over there is Justin. It's Baby J. Mike Gallagher is hanging out. He came down to see me today. So my dear friend from the OSAA coming up in the...
Brought you a nice present, you know.
Yeah, you brought me a roll of toilet paper.
Because I give a crap. I do.
Jeez, Louise. Well, I'm glad that you're...
That was the name of that's what it says on the label.
I know, and I'm not going to unwrap it. Believe me, it's going to stay there.
Well, I just wanted you to know how much great to see your studio, allowing the high school guy from Salem Radio to come down and sit and watch how they really do it in the big city.
No, that's not.
And that's the way it's nice, man. You got a great setup here. Your listeners are going to love it.
Oh, we hope so.
Well, I hope
and if
so.
they hang out with us here on YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch, we're on the socials as well at Sports Animal EUG. Or sportsanimalEUG.com if you want to go on to the website. Let's head on over to the Oregon Man Clinics hotline at 541-844-3484 and welcome in our good friend and a P1 to the program. It's Brad. What up, buddy?
Hello, guys. How's it going?
It's well. I mean, we've had, listen, Ryan Kartje was great from USC. Angie Machado is always solid for us. And, we've heard from Jerry Mixon and Brian Michalowski and Rashad Wadood. So I mean, what else could we ask for? How are you?
It's been a good mix so far, that's for sure.
Yeah. How are you?
Well, I would just first of all like to chime in. The Pete Alonso home run was definitely a home run, and I was sitting in a bar post our City League softball game with one of my teammates who happens to be a Yankee fan. And let's just say that there were a couple of FCC violations that went down.
That's fantastic. There were, huh? You weren't participating in that though. You were just observing.
Yeah, right. As the impartial Baltimore Orioles fan observer that I am,
yeah, absolutely,
especially playing the Yankees.
Yeah,
especially.
So what do you? We're going to get to this a little bit more next hour. But I mean, it was pretty obvious, wasn't it? So I mean,
it sure looked like it, and especially after review. I mean, they slowed it down. They showed a couple angles. I mean, it looked like a home run. I don't know. I can't wait to hear what technology you're talking about, but it sure looked like a home run to me.
So I mean, to me, the only thing that fixes this, I mean, are we going to end up having to have like 22 cameras on every single angle at every single Major League Baseball park to be able to watch it like straight down the line, because the camera line that they're looking at is not like a straight down the third base line or the first base line. That's
Right.
one of the biggest problems. They're going at a bit of an angle. And so you're trying to guess over the top, right? And that was the issue. So
I guess my question would be is at this point, we could tell every single rotation about the ball at all given times and how fast it's going and everything about it. So how
but
can we not?
We can't figure out a foul pole?
Exactly. Isn't it? What's the difference between this and something like a goal in soccer where they could, I mean, I know that's something
Or a
maybe in
field
the
goal.
ball. You
A
know what I
field
mean?
goal in
Exactly.
football.
Like,
Yeah.
what's the difference? I think
Come
they have
on,
the
Brad.
technology for this.
Figure it out for us, Brad.
Right.
What do you got? What do you
No,
got for us?
Well, I mean, I've always thought, why not have lasers that extend the poles straight up
Right.
and for field goals for uprights as well?
That's a great idea.
But
you
you
just
know,
solved it for us.
I mean, it seems like it should exist, but whatever.
Brad, what else did you want to talk about? I know you want to talk about Pete Alonso, but what else did you have for us?
Well, I just wanted to chime in. I'm excited about the Blazers season in spite of the reality, and I wanted to relay that I had my first interaction. I share a birthday in January with two of my buddies, and we've gone to a Blazers game on our birthday. We've gotten actually a suite for our birthday, our combined birthday, for
Nice.
years.
Nice.
And so I deal with a guy that's in the group sales office. And I had a couple conversations with him on this. The deadline was like way earlier. The credit card payment has already been made as of a couple days ago, and that's like at least 2 months earlier than in the past. And I was just like, I'm sure I said this in an email, like, I'm sure the Skinflint owner wants the cash in hand.
Sure.
And, you know, I mean, from talking to the guy, he seems to be happy that he has a job. But I also like talked to him right after some of the staff cuts, and it just brutal up there, just brutal. And, you know, he's just trying to kind of like keep his head down and keep doing the thing. But I was just glad he wasn't fired, you know?
Well, and that's the problem that we have right now with the Blazers. And Brad, I've been very transparent with our listening audience, and I'll still root for them, but I just don't like the direction right now. So, and I'm glad that you're still supporting him financially. I mean, because that's going, I hope, going to the players and the other people that are there, and not into Mr. Subprime.
Yeah, totally.
Right.
And I like the vibe that the new coach is putting out,
Yep,
for sure.
absolutely. I love it as well. Yep, absolutely,
Yeah.
Brad. All right, buddy. We appreciate you, man. We always appreciate you chiming into the program. You're special.
Well,
to
thanks
us.
so much,
Thanks,
man.
Brad.
Take care.
All right, there he goes, Brad, the great Brad. All right, so we didn't get to the Timbers. We'll do it next hour. What are the reasonable expectations for Dante Moore? What are the unreasonable expectations? That would maybe be a better question. What are the unreasonable expectations for Dante Moore? Is it Heisman or bust? That should be possibly an unreasonable expectation. We'll talk about it next here on the Sports Animal.
Sometimes they're right.
Rest my case.
Sometimes they're wrong.
You want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
But no ear.
At Mercedes-Benz of Eugene, we do things a little bit differently. We're one of the last independently owned automotive dealerships with a young and energetic sales staff, no pressure sales tactics, and you don't have to travel outside of Lane County to get the best deal possible. We have more than 200 new and pre-owned vehicles in stock now, and we invite you to come see for yourself at Mercedes-Benz of Eugene.
Walking ahead.
At Mercedes-Benz of Eugene, we do things a little bit differently. We're one of the last independently owned automotive dealerships with a young and energetic sales staff, no pressure sales tactics, and you don't have to travel outside of Lane County to get the best deal possible. We have more than 200 new and pre-owned vehicles in stock now, and we invite you to come see for yourself at Mercedes-Benz of Eugene.
website, raveneugene.org. That's RAVEN, Eugene.org.
If your credit card bills have gotten out of hand, call Consolidated Credit now. If the interest rates on your credit cards are so high, it'll take years to get out of debt. Call Consolidated Credit now. They've helped over 10 million people without destroying your credit. They can reduce your interest rates, lower your total payments up to 50% to get you out of debt fast. For a free consultation, call Consolidated Credit now. The program works.
Call 800-499-4107. 800-499-4107. 800-499-4107.
Consolidated Credit Solutions Incorporated, 5701 West Sunrise Boulevard, Fort Lauderdale, Florida 33313. Licensed by the New York Department of Financial Services and by the Vermont Department of Financial Regulation. Kansas CSO 0019051. Maryland DM 1492. Oregon DM 892. Licensed by the Virginia State Corporation Commission. License number TC83. Service may adversely affect the individual's credit. Non-payment of debt may lead to additional finance charges or collections activity, including legal action. Actual interest rates, length of program, and monthly payment reductions will vary by consumer and creditor. Yours could be higher or lower. Not a loan company. We do not lend money.
Hey Max, you look absolutely dashing in that purple tie. Ready to harness the world?
You bet, Daisy. I'm ready as I'll ever be. And might I say, your purple tie really pops with your vest.
Thanks. I almost went with a cape, but didn't want to come across as pretentious.
Nonsense. Anyone in our line of work should rock a cape.
You might be onto something, Max.
Phew, so here we go. First day on the job. Got this, right?
Right. Don't forget, we both graduated from Dogs Inc. with honors.
Which means I can guide my human around a busy city with ease.
And I can give my human a restful night.
I hope my human is kind and loving.
And I hope mine likes wet kisses and zoomies.
Ready to make a difference?
Born ready. Let's go.
Discover how extraordinary dogs like Daisy and Max change lives at no cost to the recipients. Visit dogsinc.org.
KORE, Springfield, Eugene. I'm Steve Mims. You can listen to me on The Drive weekdays from 3 to 6 on the Sports Animal Eugene.
Live on the Sports Animal Audio Network, this is The Drive. Thanks for hanging out, friends. I see you down there in Phoenix and Talent and Ashland out at Immigrant Lake. You're on your tubes, your little floaties. Klamath Falls. Hey there, Tule Lake. Our friends out near Lakeview as well on KLID, Klamath Falls, AM 960 Sports. Down in Medford, by the way. A Sports Radio. Out on the coast, KNCU, Fox Sports Newport, 92.7 FM. Steel Rock, Nye Beach. Our friends up and down the coast. You can hear us in Waldport. I know you can. And then 1490 AM, 92.3 FM. The Score, our good friend Joey Kieran in Roseburg. And in Myrtle Creek, South Umpqua, go Lancers. Thanks for tuning in wherever and however you're listening. And our phones are open for the last hour here in the Eugene area on the Sports Animal 102.9, 1050 AM in the Valley. You can lock us in at 541-844-3484. Toll free wherever you're at for the rest of the state, 877-844-3484. Coming up this hour, we're going to talk about Akron. The Zips had a great promotion to try and raise some money and sell season tickets, but now it's kind of blowing back on them. We'll discuss that. Pete Alonso, the near home run. Was a home run? Wasn't it a home run? We'll talk about that. Ronald, so you got to help me with this name again.
Ronaldinho.
I just watched some highlights.
Pretty spectacular, right?
He is pretty spectacular.
What stood out to you in those 2 minutes that you had?
He was chunky.
Was he at times did become a little bit chunky.
He was chunky.
He was known for being a bit of a party animal.
But he was very adept at what he was doing. He was like Maradona for me.
Yeah. No, that's not a terrible comparison.
Right? Okay.
Different position, but not a terrible comparison.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate that. We'll talk about in this first segment, what are the reasonable expectations for Dante Moore? Or I would like to spin this to, what are the unreasonable expectations for Dante Moore? He's got a lot on his back, but he's taking it And he's come back to the University of Oregon, and he's going to try and bring them to a national championship, the first one. So lots of baseball going on. We'll be discussing some of that as well as we wind through this hour. Again, thanks for listening in wherever and however. Toll free, 877-844-3484. That's the Oregon Man Clinic's hotline, live from the Bigfoot Beverages studios. So what are the reasonable expectations for Dante Moore? And to me, I think unreasonable is probably more in the narrative, because I think there are going to be people that are going to be saying, with this Oregon team, you've got to get to the national championship game. And if you fall short of that because you were in the semifinal last year, and I hate to say it, but it would feel like a failure. It would feel like it's not what you could have done or what you should have done. And I think the should have is unreasonable in some respects.
I do too. I think it all depends on how it goes down. If we're thinking about last year, I think one of the reasons why it was a disappointment was because Oregon fell so flat. That game was brutal to watch. I mean, I bet
the Indiana game.
The Indiana game. I bet
believe me,
80% of people didn't finish watching the game. And I had to finish watching the game because it was my job. But I bet there was a certain point where I was like, if I wasn't watching this for my job, I would turn this off. So what I would answer this question as, what are a reasonable expectation for Dante Moore? I think a reasonable expectation is to say, don't be the reason why they lose any games. I'm not saying that he was exclusively the reason they lost the Indiana game, but he certainly didn't have his best game. So you don't have to be a hero at this team. You might have to be a hero at times. There might have to be one moment where you have to be a hero, like the Iowa game where he has that great throw to Malik Benson, but don't be the reason why Oregon loses.
Okay, so I will say this about that game, and I've reflected on this Peach Bowl game in Atlanta quite a bit, and thanks for, again, tuning in to the Sports Animal and the Drive, wherever you're at throughout the state of Oregon, is I think there was much more pressure on Dante Moore going into that game in the Peach Bowl because he knew that he had zero running game. He knew that he was the last line of offense/defense for that team. And I think that's why Will Stein also called that first play, because it was like, you know what? We're going to try and get something quick, and we're going to get 5 yards and get the offense in motor. And it was just a bad read. It was bad.
And it was one that we heard from Koa Kai, the quarterback coach. That's one you hope that this year
doesn't happen.
That he looks at that look and says, "Oh no, I don't have this. I'm not going to."
And then checks out of it.
Right, which is the recognition of the offense and the playbook.
But listen,
I agree. Let's also not forget that Will Stein and Tosh Lupoy, but Will Stein,
they were on their way out. They knew
they weren't even getting sleep. It sounds like.
Yeah, because they were trying to juggle two programs, which that's a whole other conversation we can have.
It affected it, though, I think.
So, but I think that's where it was unreasonable expectation on Dante Moore in that game.
I think the unreasonable expectation for Dante Moore is that he needs to be the hero every game. He just doesn't need to be that. He isn't. I think he could be. I think on a worse team with a worse roster, you could see a Caleb Williams, like he's just going to run around and throw it and figure it out. But they don't need to do that. And that's the beauty of what they have with Dante, is that he can just be the cerebral, hey, let's figure out where we have the numbers advantage and let's attack it, and have that on the court, on the field coach type of guy. You don't need to be the hero.
But I don't think that it can be the level expectation of just don't lose us a game. He needs to lead. He needs to be the tip of the sword for the offense. He needs to create. He needs to figure out how to attack a defense off the script. He needs to be that guy that can take that read at the line of scrimmage and go, I'm going to check out of this play, and I know I can get to something better. And that the offensive coordinator, Drew Maringer, is going to trust him to be able to do that. And I think that's where it can be taking it from one level to another. And I think that's what Oregon's going to need.
To win a national championship,
absolutely,
you're going to need to do that. Absolutely. There's going to be one moment. It might, against Boise State, against Oklahoma State, you might get the C+ game from Dante Moore, and that'll be just fine because they don't need him. But at some point against Ohio State in the playoff, if you hopefully make it there, that's when you're going to have a moment where you remember the Penn State game last year?
Oh, yeah.
He was so good in that
Yep.
game. And it didn't feel like he built on that necessarily against Indiana both times. The first game, it was,
well, listen,
he had some moments, but then didn't.
Iowa game, he won that Iowa game with that throw.
Yes.
No, listen.
Yeah. And it was a tough game. That was also one of his
environment.
statistically worst games. He just had one great moment, but he was there when they needed him.
He had the one moment.
Absolutely. And that's what won them the game. So that's what I'm saying. There are going to be times where he needs to be the hero and make that throw. That's what you need out of a quarterback. That's what the best quarterbacks do. That's why you win games, but you also can't lose them games as well. You just, I don't think he's going to, but I think that's got to be the expectation, is just don't ruin it for this team.
So that's interesting, because can we look back on Dante Moore's short career with Oregon, which is, we have 1 year of tape on him. Did he lose a game for Oregon? He hasn't.
You can maybe make the argument of Indiana, that last playoff game against Indiana. I'm not saying I wouldn't necessarily say that, but a lot of people would say that.
That was not Dante Moore, though. That was
It was a domination. It was a complete domination.
That was a team loss. He didn't play defense. He didn't give up 55 points.
It was also by far his worst game. I mean, let's be honest. It was by far his worst game. I think he had 3 or 4 turnovers. There were multiple times. I think even in the red zone, they turned it over. In their own 5-yard line, I knew they turned it over. I mean, I'm not saying he was the reason, but it was rough. So you can't have a game like that. He's got to be better than what he was in that game for them to win a championship.
But do we really think that's going to happen again? Because I don't see it. I think he's mature enough.
I think so too.
I think that the offense that's going to come out is going to be a bit different. I don't think it's going to be. So people are going to talk about the Will Stein offense versus the Drew Merringer offense. So understand that Drew Merringer was a co-offensive coordinator this past year. So, and just like Chris Hampton, he was a co-defensive coordinator. I do think there are going to be substantial tweaks to it, but the base of what they're doing, the terminology and things, they're going to change it a little bit, but I don't think it's going to be seismically different than what we saw before.
Can I say something brave?
Absolutely. I love brave.
I hope it's different. Let's not forget that there were some deficiencies with this offense at times. In the red zone at times, like they were just not good. Defensively, it was worse.
But I think it's more about efficiency rather than, I think it's more about execution rather than scheme at times.
Now, I agree. And I think there were some times where they wouldn't go over the middle at times. I know against Indiana, that first game, it felt like they constantly were going on the sideline or in the flats, and it felt like there was space in the middle and they wouldn't attack it. So I don't think it was a perfect offense last year where there's nothing you can build on and there's no ways you can improve. I think even if Will Stein was back, we'd be asking for a better offense than there was last year and better play calling.
You know what got me crazy? And I think I talked to you about this plenty of times. And by the way, thanks for tuning in to the Sports Animal. And this is The Drive. And you're on with us in Klamath Falls, in Roseburg, in Newport, and in Medford, and the surrounding areas, and, of course, in the Eugene area on the Sports Animal. You know what drove me crazy, and I know you and I talked about this, is that it seemed like at times Oregon was trying to be too cute with their offense. It was like, just bash it in the middle. Just attack in terms of using your brute force forward instead of trying to be cute. And try to do the cool little play with the inside bubble screen or whatever. Just go attack.
Right.
In a sense where you're pushing against somebody else. And I think there are times, and I hope that when they look at the tape and evaluate, I'm not in the coach's room. I'm definitely not the smartest guy in the world, that they would look at that and go, that's where we need to go this year. That's what I would like to see. Do you agree or not?
Completely 100%, 1,000,000% agree. I think that for the most part last year, whenever they tried to do that, they were extremely successful, except for against Indiana. And that was the game where it felt like coming into it that Oregon would have the advantage on the defensive line. They'd be able to push them around and run the ball. And man, they could not do it against Indiana. So will Indiana be like that this year? Will there be a team that can do that? Is Oregon going to improve in that way? I think so. But that was something that I think they had in their toolbox last year. And again, they didn't always need to use it. They had the ability to run. They had the ability to pass. They could do whatever they wanted a lot of the time. That's how good this team is. But when you're against those best teams, when you're against the type of teams where you talk about Dan Lanning's only lost to teams that have basically either made the national championship or won it, those are the teams where you're going to have that physical advantage.
You know what's interesting is that we've been talking about the last 5 to 7 minutes about the offense. We have not talked about the defense like it's not a concern. If you're an Oregon fan, I mean, literally, I mean, come on now. All we've been talking about is how we attack offense.
Are you concerned?
Not we. I'm not the team. No, I'm not. But that's been the entire thought process with an Oregon fan is how do we get better offensively? And if you take a look at the skill positions, if you take a look at what Oregon has, the biggest question on the offense has been, which was the last 3 years, the line. And if you can solve that, I don't think an Oregon fan's concerned about the defense. I think they're just concerned about, can this line protect Dante Moore and give enough holes for a Jordan Davidson, a Jair Hill, and others, and give enough time for Evan Stewart and Jamari Johnson and others to catch the ball.
I think Ryan Kartje from the LA Times earlier
hit it really well.
Really good point earlier, which was this. It just feels like the defense for this team could be that thing that puts them over the top this year. And it felt like after Texas Tech in the playoff last year that this defense had reached that point, but also they gave up however many points they did against Indiana. A lot of that, again, was because of the offense putting them in bad position. But I felt like the defense was like right there to being that type of defense that could just shut down anybody and be a team that, hey, you turn it over in your 5-yard line, you only give up 3 points. That type of defense is going to win you a championship.
Well, and Boomer comes on the YouTube chat and says, Indiana did a great job of changing their coverage post-snap. Dante seemed to struggle with reads. Hopefully another year and a new OC will fix that. I don't think that's inaccurate. And hopefully we'll get past the Will Stein check down.
And 100%. I'm with you. It felt like there were so many times where they would go to the check down, and I think going to the check down is good. You don't want to try to risk too much. It's all about turnovers in football. But there are times
if you're an
where
Oregon fan, you wish you would have checked down off that first play in the Peach Bowl.
100%. I think they needed to go over the middle more last year. And I think the biggest thing that was surprising to me last year was that you had a tight end in Kenyon Sadiq who it felt like they could have just gone to, I don't know, 2 or 3 times more per game, and it would have worked out better for them. But for some reason, they just didn't have that. I don't know. It wasn't a trust thing necessarily, but it felt like for some reason they didn't want to do that. And you have another guy this year, Jamari Johnson. Everybody's talking about him as one of the best tight ends. Are they going to use him like that? I hope so.
You know what's scary is I've heard from some who have watched him in practice, and you just look at him. He is an even better physical specimen than Kenyon Sadiq.
That's amazing.
Can you believe that? You've heard that as well.
Borderline unbelievable. It really is. I mean, Kenyon Sadiq is incredible athletically.
Well,
incredible.
Jamari Johnson could be a breakout year. When we come back, we'll talk about the in Akron. The Zips are unzippy with their season ticket finalists. We'll talk about that next on the Sports Animal and the Drive. Stay tuned.
1050 AM and 1029 FM and the SportsAnimalEugene.com. Broadcasting from the Bigfoot Beverages Studios. You're listening to The Drive on the Sports Animal Eugene.
Yeah. Can you pass me a Baja?
A what?
Mountain Dew Baja Blast. Try it. It's tropical at first. Then the lime flavor hits.
Oh, okay. It's crisp. Tastes like vacation.
Right?
Mm-hmm. And it's mine now.
Have a Baja Blast.
Enjoy cool savings on Mountain Dew fountain drinks all summer long. Any size for just $1.50 at participating convenience stores.
When you're in Rome, you visit the Colosseum. When you're in France, you visit the Eiffel Tower. And when you're in Eugene, you visit Cracktown Pizza, Eugene's best pizza and a Eugene cultural icon for over 40 years. Cracktown Pizza has 2 locations, across from the U of O campus in Eugene and on 58th and A in Springfield. Cracktown Pizza, the best pizza in town. Call 541-284-8484 or visit cracktownpizza.com.
Men like to get the most out of things. We expect results when we hit the gym, and we expect to finish our weekend to-do list. We also expect ourselves to never slow down, even when some things start to get a little harder. Low testosterone levels might be slowing you down. That's when Oregon Man Clinics step in. Sharpen your focus, regain energy levels, and improve your love life with treatment options tailored to you. Get the most out of being a man. Visit us online at our Springfield, Bend, and Albany locations.
While serving in Vietnam, a grenade took my ability to see. Today, I'm a sculptor. Now, my fingers are my eyes. I'm Michael Naranjo. As a veteran, I know the challenges of life can be great. In my art, turning a lump of clay into something beautiful, that is worth doing. Life is like that. We each must use what we can to make things better.
DAV helps veterans like Michael get the benefits they've earned. They help more than 1 million veterans every year in life-changing ways.
Now, I show others how they can create something with their own hands. I know it can do a lot of good. With support from DAV, more veterans can shape their lives into a thing of beauty. My victory is bringing beauty into the world.
Michael Naranjo, may your victories inspire many more. Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
Is that a faucet running? That's not a faucet. That's a river rushing through the forest. Forest rivers provide over 100 million people with clean water to drink. What? I can't hear you because of the vacuum. That's not a vacuum. That's the trees in the forest cleaning up the air we breathe. I didn't know the trees were so amazing. Yep, and the forest gives us shade, trees to climb. That's awesome. Let's go explore some more.
Visit the forest today and enjoy all it does just for you. To learn more about the forest and find one near you, go to discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Nothing is too big for the sports animal to handle. That's what she said. You're home for me, Dan Patrick, 6 to 9 a.m. weekdays, and The Drive with Danny, Steve, and Justin from 3 to 6. This is the sports animal.
Was it a home run? Was it not a home run? The Pete Alonso near home run sparking debate about technology on foul poles. We'll talk about that in the next segment. Your phone calls. Welcome here on the Sports Animal and The Drive. Wherever you're at, in Medford, in Roseburg, in Newport, or in Klamath Falls, thanks for tuning in. The Oregon Man Clinics hotline is open for you at 877-844-3484. If you're in the Eugene area, we appreciate your support and participation at 541-844-3484. It's Danny, it's Justin, and it's you here on YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch as well with the video portion of our program. We always do things live there as well. Goose is back in the studio tomorrow.
How about that?
After the prodigal son returns tomorrow, so our entire staff is going to be back on tomorrow. And for the folks in Klamath Falls and Klamath Falls already had Goose.
Mm-hmm.
So in Roseburg and in Medford, you have not heard Goose yet. So they are going to expand the 6 degrees of separation of Steve Mims tomorrow on the program from 3 to 6.
Well, he has a finger on the pulse that we don't have, because he just knows so many people and he's been around some things for a lot longer than we have. So he has some insight on some stuff and coaches that he's talked to and perspectives that he has that I think are just huge.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, believe me. That's why I surround myself with people that are much smarter than me, just like you, Baby J.
Well, thanks for saying that.
I do. All right. So somebody who did not think this out very far, but I thought it was a great idea. But didn't I tell you when I first heard of this promotion that the Akron Zips were going to be doing that? It was, you
did say that.
You better make sure, because there was this thing of, who was it? Travis Kelce or
it was John Gruden.
John Gruden. That's right. Who it was. Sorry. I don't know why Travis Kelce came up in my head.
Basically, everybody started.
Somebody famous. John Gruden
tickets.
bought season tickets to the Akron Zip. So here's the promotion. Akron, who's out of the MAC, Joe Moorhead, who used to be an offensive coordinator. He was here for a half second in Eugene. They came up with a great idea. Buy a season ticket, and then you, friends, could get entered into a drawing to be the offensive coordinator for the opening game of the season for the first series or the first, 10 plays or whatever it is. Now, listen, You're not going to draw up the plays. You're not going to train, but you are going to get to
Well,
call
don't tell one
the
of
plays.
these finalists that.
So the fear was, well, this is going to be rigged. It's going to be, you're going to get somebody famous because you want the videos, you want to, blah, blah, blah. Well, we have the finalists for Akron's football contest for season ticket holders. The Zips announced that one lucky season ticket holder would get to call plays on Akron's first offensive drive of the season. It spiked season ticket sales. It was fun. So now the finalists for the season ticket contest have emerged. And shockingly, not shockingly, there's a couple of big names that were still alive. And now they say the contest is rigged. So The Athletic is reporting, Chris Vanini is saying that Barstool sports star Dan Big Cat Katz and Bordeaux, a college football content creator, are finalists. Akron says it's not rigged.
Well, what are they going to say?
Of course they're going to say that. So they're getting baked on social media. Yes, coincidentally, it's two people with social media following that would create buzz around Akron football. Shocker, one fan writes. I want a refund. Rigged celebrity contest. It wasn't about the normal people. It's about the famous people to boost them up. The people want to see 20-something college kid or 30-something old dad gets an experience of their lifetime, not famous people.
Right.
What do you think?
No, well, yeah, because if it's going to be Big Cat, they're going to bring 12 cameras onto the sideline.
They're absolutely going to do that.
Completely blow it up, which, I mean, if you're thinking about it from a perspective of the Zips, I guess they kind of want that, right? All they care about is the promotion. And so the bigger they can get it, the better. So having somebody like that win, I guess, would be better for them. But I think that it feels like it's against the spirit of what this was, where you just wanted to see, some guy calling plays, right? And not somebody that not somebody that is in the sports world already. And I think Bordeaux is a little bit more up my wheelhouse than you. He's like a YouTuber basically that does.
I have no idea.
He does. You know what? He does like video game content.
You know what Bordeaux is to me? It's a wine.
A city in France.
Yeah, it's a wine. That's what
it is. Which is probably from France.
It is. Yeah.
Right. So yeah, I mean, I think that say what you want about Barstool Sports, but Barstool Sports will Barstool Sports this up. And so I just I hope somebody else wins, I have to say.
So listen, if you were Akron right now, and I hate to say this, but I'm going to, wouldn't you want to make sure that one of these guys does not win it? Because if they do,
what's the worst? What's the backlash going to do? They already bought the season tickets.
Yeah, but the backlash,
they're going to get attention.
But it's going to. Okay, this is a 1-year thing. You are going to alienate the rest of your fan base that bought the season ticket. Not
a year's a long time.
You don't think so? I
don't know. I think that in a lot of ways, like, what's the worst thing that could happen? They're not going to have people not watch them anymore or something.
Yeah, I think, what I think would have been better? Here's what I think would have been better, is if they would have said, listen, we are going to get a big name celebrity like John Gruden. Okay? And you get to call plays with John Gruden on the sideline and eliminate, like you can. So there are rules you can put in to doing a contest saying you can't be a content creator. You can't be this. You can't be that. You can't have a social media you can't be aligned with a social media company or a broadcast outlet to be able to be eligible for this contest.
Right.
You could have done all those things.
Well, you could have done something like this. You have to be in the Midwest or in Akron or something.
You
real,
have
real fans, right?
You have to be somebody within certain zip codes or whatever. They could have put a lot of gateways on this. They didn't.
That's what I'm saying. They didn't want to.
This is hindsight. It's 2020, but now they're opening themselves up to just a terrible amount of bad publicity with their own fan base.
Well, but is it any publicity is good publicity? Again, I think the diehards aren't going to, ultimately they're not going to care. I mean, they're going to get over it. But now you have all this attention on Akron and, this is such a great idea. And even if Big Cat wins.
No,
this is going to be fun and a positive, I think.
So you're saying this is a good thing? You're saying
I'm not saying this is a good thing for Justin, the person that I am. I'm saying for Akron, I guarantee you they want as much attention and exposure as possible. They want to have as many tickets sold as possible. And I think they accomplished that by what they did already. The fact that it went viral and it blew up and all this stuff. Like, I think that already accomplished it. And even if they basically have, a bunch of attention because of one of these, content creators, then I think that might be even better for them. I think they might be rooting for that rather than rooting against it, because then they get more attention. And that's, I think, ultimately what this is all about. Let's be honest. Akron is not going to compete for a college football playoff anytime soon. So
they're not. No. I agreed with the contest. What I don't agree with is the execution of the contest.
I'm with you.
So and Boomer is on the YouTube saying, anyone check if Big Cat or Bordeaux even bought season tickets to enter? Well, first of all, Boomer, according to what we know about the contest, they had to. Now, whether or not they personally paid for the tickets, I don't know. I'd be interested to see if it was funneled through their companies, i.e. Barstool or whatever Bordeaux's wine company is. He's not. That's a wine company.
No, he does
Okay, I know you.
Basically Madden videos.
Okay. But again, to me, it's about retention as well with your fan base. So how many of these people that bought season tickets this year, and they're already locked in, are going to go, you know what? You screwed me this year because I thought I was going to have a chance at this, and you just made it into a big publicity stunt, and now I'm out next year.
Yeah. Listen, I think the fact that there was... If it was just one, you might go, well, one's a coincidence, but two high profile people.
But now you're making the argument on the other side of this.
What I'm saying, Danny, is I personally am not for the fact that they have these guys. I do not want them to win, but thinking about from the perspective of the school, I actually think they probably want one of these high profile people to win. I'm guessing.
So here's what I would hope that Big Cat and Bordeaux do. I hope they say, you know what? I don't want to be a finalist. I'm going to recuse myself from winning these, but I'm going to come cover, and I'm going to be whoever wins. I'd like to be on the sideline with them, and we will bring all of our cameras and we will cover it for Akron. That's what I would hope would happen.
Well,
that would be the best scenario for everybody in this situation. Don't you think?
I think knowing the egos of those two men, I don't know if that's going to happen.
But they're still going to get the coverage, though. They're still going to get they're going to be the everyman.
Big
every
Cat
person
wants to run a play for Madden. He's publicly saying how he just no, I don't think that's going to happen.
If you're watching me on YouTube right now, you see me rubbing my eyes because I'm just exhausted by this. So are you in favor of replay in Major League Baseball? We've got ABS.
I think everything should be reviewable.
Oh, my God.
Get the call right.
All right. Well, apparently they didn't. Pete Alonso's home run was not a home run. Was it a home run? Was it not a home run? We're going to talk the beautiful game as well in the last half hour here on the Sports Animal. Stay tuned.
1050 AM, 1029 FM, and the SportsAnimalEugene.com. Other stations can say they cover the Ducks and Beavers, but we bring the receipts. You're listening to The Drive on the Sports Animal Eugene.
The plans you have for your property need the right equipment. Kubota has reliable tractors, utility vehicles, and mowers to help you make the most of your land, along with strong dealer support. Stop by today to explore our lineup. Right now, bring home select Kubota equipment for 0% financing or save up to $3,500, plus a first-year K-maintenance service on us. Now through September 30th. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com/disclaimers for full disclaimer.
Mid-Valley Tractor in Eugene. 40 years, family-owned. Find them at midvalleytractor.com.
So what are you reading?
I'm checking out the ratings on the new TVs, and it looks like Samsung, LG, and Sony got the best scores.
Just like last year. What about those new high dynamic range TVs?
They got the highest scores of all, but their prices are really high.
Did you check online?
Yeah, their prices were about the same.
Well, there's one place where we can get a hot deal on those top-rated models.
Where?
At Video Only. Check out the ratings on TV stores.
I see. Video Only scored better than the others.
So if you want the best deal on the best TVs,
then we should take our TV ratings and head over to Top Rated Video Only.
At Video Only, you won't find huge stores with refrigerators or microwaves, but you will find the best deals on top-rated TVs, soundbars, and monitors. Shop around. Just make sure you visit Video Only, because if you don't,
you'll be sorry.
In Jansen Beach, Clackamas, Beaverton, Salem, and Eugene. Video Only.
Almost every car made over the last 10 years has a camera. Did you know that when you replace a windshield, the camera needs recalibrated? If your glass provider doesn't fix the camera, you could have issues with safety features like forward collision alert, adaptive cruise control, or emergency braking. Don't trust some guy in a truck to fix or replace your windshield and then have to make a second appointment to calibrate your camera. You need Olson's Auto Glass, 2041 West 7th Avenue in Eugene. Olson's Auto Glass, repairing windshields since 1938.
If your credit card bills have gotten out of hand, call Consolidated Credit now. If the interest rates on your credit cards are so high, it'll take years to get out of debt. Call Consolidated Credit now. They've helped over 10 million people without destroying your credit. They can reduce your interest rates, lower your total payments up to 50% to get you out of debt fast. For a free consultation, call Consolidated Credit now. The program works.
Call 800-499-4107. 800-499-4107. 800-499-4107.
Consolidated Credit Solutions Incorporated, 5701 West Sunrise Boulevard, Fort Lauderdale, Florida 33313. Licensed by the New York Department of Financial Services and by the Vermont Department of Financial Regulation. Kansas CSO 0019051. Maryland DM 1492. Oregon DM 892. Licensed by the Virginia State Corporation Commission, license number TC83. Service may adversely affect the individual's credit. Non-payment of debt may lead to additional finance charges or collections activity, including legal action. Actual interest rates, length of program, and monthly payment reductions will vary by consumer and creditor. Yours could be higher or lower. Not a loan company. We do not lend money.
Don't change the channel. Your radio might explode. Okay, not really. But you miss a minute of the drive, you might miss something, well, spectacular.
On we go.
The Drive is back on 102.9 FM and 1050 AM. The Sports Animal.
Danny and Justin here on The Drive. Thanks for lending us a moment of your time here as we traverse through a weekend eve on the Sports Animal. We're live in Roseburg and Myrtle Creek and Douglas and Winston on 1490 and 92.3 FM. The Score in Newport, KNCU 92.7 FM, the Ace Sports Radio down in the Rogue Valley, 107.9, 1300. And then down in the basin, Klamath Falls, way on down south near Tule Lake, KLAD AM 960 Sports. Big stuff coming up next week as well. We'll have special guests tomorrow. One special guest I hope I can get for tomorrow. Justin, who do we have tomorrow as well? We've got our dear friend Landon Tegwall is going to be on. No, actually, yeah, is he? Yeah, early, right? Or maybe not. I'm not sure. No, I think maybe he might be indisposed.
Okay, well, we'll figure it out.
We will figure out tomorrow. So we were just finishing up our conversation, and by the way, thanks for tuning in. Oregon Man Clinic's hotline, toll free at 877-844-3484, locally 541-844-3484 if you're in Eugene and the surrounding area there. So we were talking about this whole Akron zip. You buy a season ticket, you get entered into a drawing where you can call the first series of offensive plays. And now there's a couple of social media guys, according to what was reported by the Athletics, Chris Vanini, that Big Cat Katz, and Bordeaux, has nothing to do with wine, are some of the finalists. And our buddy Boomer on the YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch chat says it's well known that Big Cat loves to bet on games. Not saying he'd bet on Akron, but it's a bad look to let a well-known gambler call games for a college football team. That's a great point as well.
I think so too. No, I mean, certainly a guy that has been known for that. So yeah, I don't know if he'd bet on the opposing team or something like that, but I don't know. I mean, we know my thoughts.
All right. So the Oregon Man Clinic's hotline again open for you, 541-844-3484. Toll free, 877-844-3484. Last couple of segments. So we do want to talk about. So we've discussed before the whole, ABS and what we think about that instant replay in all sports. And we got a call?
We do. We have a very special guest here on the Oregon Man Clinics hotline. So I will let our special guest take it away.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Danny. Happy birthday to you.
I do not know the singing voice. So I have to hear the speaking voice before I know who this is.
Yeah, I only have a minute because I got my kids and my parents in the car here at Costco, but I couldn't not call and say happy birthday.
Thank you.
That's all I got today.
I don't say you got to tell me who this is. I still don't know
You
the
don't
voice.
recognize?
No, I don't know.
You don't recognize the voice?
No, I don't.
Our good buddy Travis.
Oh my God.
You're killing me, Danny. You're killing me.
I would not. That's the last thing I would have expected. It's the mayor of Rip City.
Yeah.
It's the mayor of Rip City.
I got to run. I got my kids and my parents in the car at the Costco parking lot. So
we appreciate you,
that's all
Travis.
I got today, guys.
We knew that you were going to do this. So
I'm so sorry, man.
appreciate you. We'll talk to you soon.
Love you, man.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Bye.
Bye.
Wasn't that awesome?
You guys are too
He tried
much.
to sneak up on me, by the way, earlier. He
Did he?
Yeah, he didn't realize we had caller ID, so I immediately answered Travis. It was right when Angie was calling, and so I was like, "What do I do here?"
He was out of breath there a little bit, so I did not recognize it.
Yeah,
It's different when I'm listening it through my headphones versus a phone call.
It was pretty
So
awesome.
that was
though.
nice. That's the mayor, the voice of the Blazers, the mayor of Rip City, Travis Demers, calling in. That's great. I love Travis. All right, so now I'm all, sideways. Now
We were
I'm
talking
discombobulated.
baseball. We were
Yeah,
talking Pete Alonso.
So, but I think the bigger question is, so it's been much discussed already about how the home run that was clearly a home run was then not a home run based on review. So how do we fix this? Because I actually love that there's video review, but I've always said if it's applied and used correctly and actually corrects the call, like I think tennis has it
100%
perfectly.
Totally agree.
And the VAR in soccer is closer.
Very questionable, I think.
Oh, okay.
You're losing me now.
All right. Okay. But I think there are certain sports that are getting it right. But in this, so I think the tough thing is that the foul pole doesn't extend, 300 feet straight up in the air.
Right. Well,
So-
look no further than baseball. They figured
Okay.
it out with ABS. I think it's
How
working
can-
great.
So why can't I think who was it that brought it? Was
Brad.
Brad that said just put a laser pointer,
Yeah.
a light that goes up. You don't have to have a pole that goes all the way up.
Right.
Just have a laser pointer to show, but then you have to have the right camera angle is the problem.
Well, do you have to have a camera if it's a laser?
Yeah, you sure do. You still have to be able to look down the line. So the problem is that most of the angles with the cameras are pointing skewed. So
Right.
they're not straight down the line. So you have to have one that goes straight down the third base line all the way out to the foul pole, straight down the first base line going all the way up to the foul pole to be able to have an accurate look at exactly where the ball goes
You know
through.
what they need is a pylon cam right at the top of the foul pole, straight up.
All right.
And then they can have, you can tell
Pylon.
whether it's
Baseball
left or right.
Baseball pylon cam.
Exactly. No, I think there's got to be something they can do. I can only imagine if in soccer you can tell if the ball goes in the net, and in tennis, just like you're saying, where they can tell if it hits the line. I don't know how the technology works exactly, but I can imagine it's pretty possible.
So the Yankees won though. It didn't end up making a difference in the game, fortunately, because people in New York would have been apoplectic if it would have been a difference in the game.
Pete Alonso plays for the Orioles.
Oh,
so.
sorry. It didn't make a difference in the game. The Yankees won.
Well, it might have made a difference if Pete Alonso's home run would have counted.
They would have been apoplectic if it would have changed the game. See how much I just embarrassed myself there because I didn't know exactly
It's okay.
one of the 14 Major League Baseball games last night that was played. I didn't know who was
more
playing
about
for
the
who.
conversation is more about the technology anyways. And I think
Yeah.
that it's like anything in sports. Like I know that you're somebody that would agree that why do we have plays that can't be reviewed? I know this was a play that did get reviewed and
that's
incorrectly reviewed, but I know you've always said this, right? Like, why are there things that we can't figure out at this point? We have the technology to basically like see how long everybody's nose hair is. Like, we really can't tell if that was fair or foul.
So why isn't somebody figuring out how to do it then? That'll then be my point. But with all of the cameras that are positioned around major league stadiums, football, basketball, baseball, soccer, even, why aren't we shooting a line down the first and third base lines in baseball?
I don't know. It's interesting, right? Because you don't have that standard camera. Maybe part of it is because every Major League Baseball ballpark isn't standard. It's all different. How long the walls are and the sight lines and all this stuff. It's a little different.
So that shot is coming from right behind or to the right or left of the dugouts on either side.
Right.
It's not. It's well because that's where the camera wells are.
Right.
So now you would have to, but wouldn't it be easier if you just had one smaller camera that just was shooting down the line? You don't have to have it manned, just have it sitting there
like a pylon cam.
Right. You can position. Honestly, to me, that wouldn't be that hard to do.
I don't think so either.
You don't have to have it as a shot for the TV, meaning the broadcast. Just have it for the video review.
Just to get it right. I agree.
So we just fixed it.
It's easy. I don't know. I don't know why they don't do more stuff like this. It just seems like baseball is one of those sports where it's like every little thing.
Would it have made a difference in the game? Sorry, would it have made that much of a difference in the game? Because I think they won 5-3 or something. They could have made a difference.
I think it would have bring within one, if I remember correctly.
So again, it would be one of those things where, because now it's a story for right now, is Rob Manfred, the commissioner of baseball, going to pay attention to this and go, yeah, well, we need to fix this now because Pete Alonso should have hit a home run.
It actually was 3-3 in the bottom of the seventh.
Oh, so it would have made a difference.
So it would have made a big difference.
A big difference. And the Yankees did end up winning the game, right?
I think they did, yeah.
Yeah. No, I remember reading it this morning. So, yeah, it would have made a difference then. So they need to fix it. My bottom line in all of this, when it comes to video, not video, whatever, just get it right. I know there's an argument that says, we like that there is human error in a game. You know what? No, I don't like. I don't. No,
I know. I completely agree with you.
I don't like that there's human error in the game.
I agree.
Get the call right. If somebody's toe touches out of bounds, no, don't give them the call.
This is why I think ABS is perfect. I really think it's perfect because there is that sort of quote unquote human element.
Do you understand the resistance there was though to ABS years ago?
Oh, huge resistance.
We're gonna have robots running the game. Just why not don't have players on the field anymore? Let's just let a computer play the game. Come on. Now.
Well, and there's all the complaints about certain pitches that weren't called by umpires that'll be called by people. But no, I think it's great because right now what it is it is literally the human element unless a player, another human, decides, oh, I actually thought that was going to be something different. And then there's a skill level to it. And there's guys that are better at it and worse at it. So I actually think it's been great.
We've had Angie Machado from Beaver's Blitz on the program. That was hour number 1. Hour number 2, we had Ryan Kartje from the LA Times. Talked a lot about the Big Ten and USC. And we've had you here in this last hour. And we still have one more segment to go. We got Dad Joke coming up. Stay tuned. Last segment here on The Drive, the Sports Animal Audio Network, live in Klamath Falls, in Roseburg, in Newport, in Medford, and here in Eugene. One last segment, and we'll close off this weekend eve here on the 20th of August, the year of our Lord, 2026. Back with the final segment of the show next on Sports Animal.
Sometimes they're right.
Rest my case.
Sometimes they're wrong.
You want answers. The truth. You can't handle the truth.
But no ears were harmed in the making of their disagreements.
I don't know what we're yelling about.
You're listening to The Drive on the Sports Animal Eugene.
I've seen new customers come in distrustful of other auto shops, and I get it. They're worried about being taken advantage of. But at Sun Automotive, our compass is welded true north. Our focus isn't to make the most money. It's about making sure your 16-year-old granddaughter makes it over the pass in the middle of the night with no cell service and gets there. At the end of the day, our focus is your trust. For the best service under the sun, come to Sun Automotive.
Beaver Nation, this is your moment to be part of something bigger. Oregon State football is building the future, and we want you with us at Reser Stadium this fall. With 2026 mini plans, you can secure your seats for some of the biggest games of the season and experience the energy of Beaver football your way. Visit beavertickets.com or call 1-800-GO-BEAVS to purchase your mini plan today. Pack Reser, build the legacy. Go Beavs!
I've seen it, I've covered it. I'm Alex Rogers, your local farmer's agent in West Eugene. When you need auto, home, life, or business insurance, Farmers can help you protect everything you've worked so hard to achieve. I really enjoy what I do, and I can help you understand all your coverage options. When I'm your farmer's agent, you're not stuck at the mercy of some computer. I'm your advocate when you need help. Visit my office today at 1154 Garfield Street here in Eugene, or give me a call at 541-284-2804.
Cancer affects all of us. Today alone, 5,370 people in the United States will be diagnosed with cancer. That's why Stand Up to Cancer funds and develops the newest and most promising cancer treatments to help patients today. Stand Up to Cancer wants to provide you with every opportunity to join in this mission. By donating your home, land, or commercial property, you can help Stand Up to Cancer fund innovative cancer research. Donating eases the stress associated with selling a home and can also help lead to the next breakthrough in cancer prevention, diagnosis, and treatment. Stand Up to Cancer makes the process easy, and it may be tax deductible. It will take all of us standing up together to put an end to cancer as we know it. Help us save lives right now. Your home or property could hold the key to the next breakthrough in cancer research. Visit standuptocancer.org/giveproperty to learn more.
Eric Cargile's family has worked the same land for 5 generations.
Takes all we've got. Animals don't care if you get sick, and the nearest hospital is 50 miles away.
That changed when nurse practitioner John Hodges opened Rawls Family Medicine.
He keeps us going, all of us, and that's kept our farm and ranch alive.
How has a nurse impacted your life? Share your story at thepowerofnurses.org.
Nothing is too big for the sports animal to handle. That's what she said. Your home for me, Dan Patrick, 6 to 9 a.m. weekdays, and The Drive with Danny, Steve, and Justin from 3 to 6. This is the sports animal.
We've got some special guests tomorrow. We're not going to reveal them. You need to come back and join us tomorrow between 3 and 6 p.m. on the Sports Animal Audio Network in Klamath Falls, Roseburg, Newport, Medford, and here in Eugene. I guarantee you it's appointment radio as we get ready. We're going to be 1 week away from college football, 1 week away from high school football tomorrow. We've made it through a long, hard summer, and thanks for tuning in here on the Sports Animal and The Drive. Dad joke coming up in just a minute. So I want to open up the floor. Baby J's been chomping at the bit to talk the beautiful game. And players that maybe should have stayed away and then decide they want to come back in sport. I mean, there was talk about, Tom Brady, just be done, dude. You're done. But then he came back, Tampa Bay, won another world championship.
He did stay around one more year than he should have, I think.
Maybe.
It cost him his family.
Go out on top. That's the way you want to go. So 46-year-old Ronaldinho. Okay, Ronaldinho. So I got to put the D in there. Ronaldinho.
So the reason
is
why
restarting his career, third division club, Ravenna, more than a decade after retiring. He's coming back. And I watched the highlights you sent me. You told me to look him up. I watched him. He looks like Maradona to me. Incredible player. He's 46 years old. Why is he coming? Does he have bills to pay off, or
Well,
what?
It sounds like that he has a goal of scoring a final goal of his career. So he wants to score one more goal for this third team Ravenna in Italy. So this is a guy
For
that,
what? What does this get him? Does he get?
I think it's just a personal. I think he's an athlete and he wants to be a competitor.
So is this
and score more
vanity?
goals.
Is this vanity then?
I don't know.
Is this a vanity return?
Well, he is someone that has an ego. So I would say that
most professional athletes do.
They do.
If you're successful.
I don't know. This doesn't come across as ego to me. He's one of those guys where even if he's like 55 years old, I just want to watch that guy play football / soccer. Like he's that electric. The things, it's just the way he touches the ball. And, even you see clips of him from after he's retired and someone will just toss a ball over to him or kick a ball over him. And this is the way that he can handle the ball. It's still there. Like he's still got it physically in terms of his like athletic ability. I'm not sure if he has that.
So does this count though?
This will count. Yeah.
So he's going to a third division club.
Well, let's not forget there's that Japanese guy that's like literally 55, 60 years old that's still playing, and he still actually legitimately plays games for, I don't remember what, I think it's in the second tier in Japan, maybe.
Is this in baseball or is this in
No,
football?
this is soccer. Isn't that crazy? There's like a 50-something-year-old soccer player
in the Japanese league.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if I can wrap my arms around this. It just seems to be
Kazuyoshi
of
Miura.
Okay, you found him.
Yeah, I know.
Beautiful for you.
We talked about him on our previous show. He's 59 years old. He has been playing since 1986. And he has last year he had made 6 appearances. The previous year he made 8 the year before. So he legitimately plays some. So it's like obviously insane. Like I don't know why you would do that. I don't know why he's doing that, to be honest with you. You're 59 years old. Like you don't want to go do something else with your life. I don't know. Maybe
so
you're going to do it as long as you can.
He's going to come back against even younger players that he knows he's better than, even at 46 years old, to go score a goal.
I don't know if he's going to be better than them.
Well, obviously he thinks he can, because if he's going to go with this team, everybody's going to defer.
Apparently.
It's about the publicity.
Of course.
Okay.
Which is awesome. It's like the zip thing.
No, I'm sorry. Why do you think that's awesome? Just go ahead and live your life. Let
I
somebody
don't know.
else.
I want to see that guy play soccer. I think that's awesome.
Okay. Well,
I can't wait to see the highlights from this. The last time he
it's-
played was in 2015. It's like watching Lionel Messi play. And it's like, oh my God, every single time I watch him play, it's amazing.
So long? Why did he wait so long?
Well, it's like
So now he's sitting around. He was like, it's 11 years later. 11 years later, it's like,
he just
you know
got
what?
the itch.
You know what? I think I want to go put my name in a record book, right? That's what it is. That's what he wants. He wants his name in some record book somewhere. That's just it. I can't.
He's also going to become a shareholder as well. So, of course, no surprise there.
In a third division team in Italy. Okay,
correct.
I'm having a hard time, Baby J, wrapping my arms around this.
Do you think that this third division team in Italy has something better going on than bringing back
No,
a
absolutely.
superstar?
Listen, it's like St. Paul in non-affiliated minor league baseball when they still had non-league affiliated minor league baseball. It's like the St. Paul Saints bringing in Roger Clemens at 55 years old to throw a pitch.
Okay, it'd be like, okay, if 5 years from now, Tom Brady said, I'm coming back for one more year.
He should get barbecued.
He would, but I think it'd be kind of awesome. He'd be like 50-something years old.
There would be literally...
I don't even like Tom Brady. I very publicly don't like Tom Brady, and I think that'd
so
be really cool.
You would want him to get clocked by somebody like Max Crosby. You would love him to. Yeah, see, that's what you'uld watch. That's what
I think. Listen, I don't know if you saw his throw in he made a great throw in the Middle East.
Okay. Okay. So I got to do my dad joke here.
All right.
What driver doesn't have a license? What driver doesn't have a license?
I don't know. Those ones in cars in the Pixar movie.
What driver doesn't have a license? A screwdriver. They don't
Yeah,
have a license.
that's right.
Yeah, they can't.
That's
They
right.
can't drive. All right, tomorrow on the program, it's a Friday getaway day. Appointment Radio. We got Goose back. Welcome back. everybody on the Sports Animal Audio Network. God bless. Put a smile on your face. Someone else's. They deserve it. So do you. Thanks for listening. Peace.
And 102.9 FM and the SportsAnimalEugene.com. Broadcasting from the Bigfoot Beverages Studios. You're listening to The Drive on the Sports Animal Eugene.
Millions of Americans are glued to their TV weekly.